Sultry sounds of Ben and Woods brings us to Thursday morning. Good morning, everybody. It is we are Ben and Woods. We're on 97.3 The Fan. You know that already. Maybe you're watching us on YouTube. If you haven't done that yet, I do see a lot of people popping in every day going, hey, I hear you guys talking about the YouTube feed. You're always mentioning people from there. I decided to check it out. I love it. You guys are heavier than I thought you were. Things like that. It's really cool to see those every day. But, yeah, you can go to youtube.com. I like YouTube because you can get the facial expressions. You can see when, like, one of us is – it happens to all of us when we're not paying attention or something. You really get behind-the-scenes look. You know, I'm down on my phone or you're on your phone texting or Paulie's doing something over there. You can see all of it. And I forget that we're on camera. So you really have to, you know, you got to mind your P's and Q's around here. But it's a really cool way to watch. But thank you for listening any way you consume us. Great morning. Let's have a good time today. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's the executive producer. Good morning, Paulie.
Good morning.
Good to have you here. Paulie and I had a great day down at the ballpark yesterday. We can tell you guys some stories here pretty soon. We got some good ones. We usually do. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. Good morning, Benjamin.
Good morning to everybody. It's good to be here. You can see me fall asleep, nod off occasionally on the YouTube stream.
Every now and then.
I'm just a little hungover this morning.
I was wondering if we were going to get hungover, Ben.
I had a few cocktails last night.
What is a few? 3?
5.
5! 5.
I
wouldn't be here. I would have called in sick. 5 would be, what did you have?
Let's see. I had a sea breeze by the pool. Then we.
What is a sea breeze? That's grapefruit juice and vodka?
Yeah, and maybe some cranberry as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds delicious.
A little tonic. And then we went to Cantina Mayo, and I did both an añejo and a mezcal, as we had some great food there. And then we went back, and I did.
Hold on. And then an añejo and a mezcal.
So tequila. A shot, neat.
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 Just hot, warm tequila. In a
quality,
glass.
good tequila in a snifter small. Yeah.
Hot, warm tequila.
Correct.
And you just sip it or you shoot it?
No, sip it.
Okay, you
sip it and enjoy it.
Okay.
And then we went back for the music, and I had a couple of old fashions, and then that was my evening.
Let me smell your breath. Let's see if I can.
Is it safe for him to drive here today?
He smells good.
I'm okay. Like I said, I was more than functional as we walked back to the room. It was fine, but
more than functional.
I still feel it a little bit this morning, though.
Yes, I'm telling you, 5 for me. I would not be here.
I can hold mine. I can hold it.
I told you when I went to Hawaii, I had 2 cocktails the entire time I was there. Two. One was a Mai Tai. I ordered another Mai Tai at the same night, and I go, I can't finish this. I go, I will fall down drunk.
You called me giggling?
I called you giggling. I was like, dude.
Oh
and then I had a pina colada
Put the pina colada down.
at a bar. It was like, bro. I mean, wow, look at you.
Staycation's going well, though. The Lafayette, the remodel is beautiful. Our room is great right at the pool. We spent some time at the pool. It was perfect. We checked in. Room was ready right as the game was starting. So I popped it up on our television. It was 8-0 before I knew it, so I was like, okay, I'm good. I can just, sit by the pool.
Cruise.
And I really didn't even have to pay that close of attention to the game. And we had a great time. I mean, really, that place is a party, though. I mean, all night, everywhere. I mean,
is it loud?
Yeah, I mean, by the pool at night, it wasn't that loud, so we could sleep. But if you're in the main area, I walked in around 10 was like the last time I was up because I went next door to grab a couple of slices of pizza at Luigi's.
Because you were hammered.
Hammered drunk. I love
Which was good. And as I walked through, though, the place was absolutely packed with people. There's the bowling alley downstairs. There's a 24-hour diner. We had gone to the room Lulu's, which is the music venue, and watched the band play for an hour or so, which was fantastic as well. Really great time. Looking forward to day 2 today after the show and the roundtable to resume my staycation.
Well, today is National Relaxation Day, and while you'll be sitting by the pool relaxing, I've got on National Relaxation Day, we're going to do this show, 4 hours. We're going to do an hour-long roundtable. Tough to be hungover on roundtable day.
Yeah.
Probably popped in your head and you went,
at some point,
no.
This is going to be a tough roundtable today.
Then after that, I'm going to go to the dentist for 2 hours and get a cleaning and get this crown fixed. So, and then just full-on parenting mode with a devil 3-year-old and a 6-year-old who acts like he's 16 these days. So you're very excited for National Relaxation. But I had my relaxation week in Hawaii, and I still feel pretty good from that trip. Paulie, on National Relaxation Day today, no Padres game tonight. I mean, you are home free. What are you planning on doing?
Oh, gosh, I don't even know.
Yeah?
Watched a movie yesterday that we thought we would maybe watch today with no Padres game.
You already watched it?
We watched it last night for the day game.
You're going to watch it again?
No. We rented the new Twisters.
No good. I'm not surprised.
So when the
Twister, or is it Twisters?
Twisters.
It's different.
Is the new one.
Guys, it's different.
And
we put an S on it.
I asked my wife, I said, is this a remake or a sequel? She goes, I think it's a remake. Like Top Gun 2 was a sequel.
That's a sequel. It was very good.
And it was outstanding. Also had the same actor. Glenn Powell was in it.
Yeah. Same guy's in Twisters.
I like Glenn Powell a lot. He's pretty good.
I do too. I do. I don't think I'd be friends with him in real life.
I didn't like Twisters. Bro, I looked him up I Googled him. He is the next Matthew McConaughey.
Is he?
Young, good-looking actor, but he was born in Austin, Texas.
Okay, makes sense.
He went to the Moody School at UT, where Matthew McConaughey blessed the mood.
Bless the mood.
He went to that school.
That's where he went.
It was an acting school.
I need y'all's help, please. Bless the mood.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Come on, everybody.
No, Matthew. We do not want. Nobody wants to see. We didn't know we were doing this.
I liked the original Twister. I did not.
It was fine.
I didn't like the remake. Whew. Wasn't great.
All right, so you rented it last night. Why would you watch it again today? Just double up.
I don't want to. We were going. I'm saying the plan was to watch it today. We were like, let's rent this on Thursday when we don't have a Padres game to watch.
But you rented it last night, and you watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Movie was starting to go. All right, what do you think? Real quick before it starts, before we see anything, good or bad? She goes, I think it's gonna be great.
I heard good review. I saw good reviews on it, but the same people also said that the new Roadhouse was really good, and I don't know, man. They're just kind of running out of ideas. Which is fine. I mean, we do sports radio.
They ran out of them 7 years ago.
They did. I mean, we run out of ideas. It happens. It's creatively you get a little juice.
Somebody asked if did I get the bootleg version? No, you can rent it on Amazon. It's on Prime. Like it was just in theaters. Now you can watch it at home.
Yeah.
I go. All right. So Glenn Powell was in Top Gun 2.
Yep.
Twisters.
Yep.
What's the next spin-off remake movie that he's going to be in from the 90s?
Breakfast Clubs.
I said
Weird Sciences.
Mr. Doubtfire.
Yeah, Mr. Doubtfire. Yeah. It's just bad, man. This is bad right now. There has not been a movie that's come out, maybe in the last 5 years, that I've been like, yes, and it delivered.
They haven't brought back Gremlins yet.
Yeah,
it seems
Gremlins.
like one they can make with better special effects nowadays. That was popular.
Give them time. Give them time. But, we were down at the ballpark yesterday.
I was wondering. You guys went without me, so how did it go? Who'd you see? Who'd you talk to?
Well, so we walked in, and the thing about us is Paulie and I and Ben, too, we have the ability, if we wanted to, we could go down there every single day, right? If schedule permitted, if I was a single man with no family, there's a decent chance I would be in there a lot more than I am. With school getting out at, the time that it does and responsibilities, I don't get down there very much. Now, it's twofold. That's not the only reason I don't go down there. I also go down there because I don't want to bother them. I don't want to go and be like, hey, Jackson, so the rookie of the year. I know no one's asked you about this, but how do you feel about winning potentially the rookie? The thought of it makes my stomach turn. So we go down, very, very sparsely.
Some people are very happy to see you when you're there.
They are.
Like Jake is always happy to see you.
Yes.
I like the Wednesday day game
Wednesday day
after
game,
the show.
pop in.
It's not every week. It's, once a month,
Yep.
once every couple weeks.
Now, it's very clear. It's very, very clear that we have a corner that is ours. We have a corner. And in said corner is Jake Cronenworth, Kyle Higashioka, Jackson Merrill. That's our corner.
Yep.
I don't know that I've ever been anywhere. I don't know that I've ever talked to anyone in any other corner. So when we walk in, I glanced over the corner. It was empty. There was no Jake, no Higgy, no Merrill. And I went, well, what the hell are we going to do? So we talked to our beloved Dennis Lynn. We talked to a couple of folks in the media. We talked to the big, tall righty, Bob Scanlon, very handsome, very tall, still very tall. We talked to our beloved Sammy Levitt. And so that was fun. And then Crony, this is wild, Ben. Jake Cronenworth comes out of the shower, wrapped in a towel, and walks right up to my face.
Showers before the game.
I would too.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to sweat clean, I think.
Okay.
That's how I feel as well. Walks right up to me, and he goes, I've got a bone to pick with you. And my gut dropped. Now, I thought to myself, you do the immediate recall. And I'm like, can't be anything he heard on me going, he needs to be out of I've been the other guy saying, they're not going to mess with it. Leave him in the 3-hole. Don't mess with the order. Just stop. Everyone stop. So I'm like, can't be anything like that. And I go, what is it? And he goes, you told me that when you had me on, that you were going to go to bat for me with Schulte about pitching. I go, I did. He goes, that's not the information I heard.
What?
And I go, well, did you listen? And he goes, no. And I go, well, why don't you listen instead of taking things second, third hand? How about that? Why don't you try that one? If you just listen, I go, follow me on Instagram. I'll send you the clip tomorrow. You'll have it. You'll hear exactly that I told Schulte on our interview, let Cronenworth pitch, essentially. Keep those trade secrets close to the vest in case you have to use them. You're talking about a fan. We watched Joe Musgrove play left field a couple years ago.
It felt like it was one of the moments of his life when he got out there, and that was.
And, if I know one thing, because we've talked to Crony a bunch on this show, and I asked him, how much do you lobby to the skipper to let you come in and pitch in a blowout? He goes, all the time. All the time. And I go, man, if there's one thing I know about baseball players, they're never really happy with what they want to do a little bit more. So I was just kind of wondering, are there guys that are in your ear like, Skip, let me hit, let me play second in a blowout or something like that?
But now we don't play that game anymore, so nobody's lobbying for that necessarily. Crony, different story.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
He wants out there. He's pretty pleased with his 0 ERA, career ERA.
Yeah. So we're standing.
You didn't
there.
directly ask him, but you did bring it up.
But I brought it up, and
Schultz not wrong either. He's very happy about his 0 ERA. He said, "Hey, by the way, lowest ERA in Major League Baseball history."
Well, then why would you want to go back
Jake
out?
Cronenworth.
It can only go up.
That's the
Just
thing.
Sit on it.
Sit on it. So we're standing there talking to Crony. Well, guess who walks up behind us? The skipper, Mike Schilt. Fellas, how you doing? Schilty, how are you?
Hey, my dudes, how you doing?
We're doing good, Schilty. Good to see you. And he said, what's going on here? And I said, well, he thinks that I didn't lobby for him. And Schilt just kind of starts laughing, and he goes, yeah, him and his 0 ERA. And Jake said, I'm literally the best pitcher of all time. And I said, all right, well, I'm out of this conversation. I did my part. So it was really fun. Then we also, by the way, Crony turns around, and he's got this brew. Remember when he got dotted? I think it was 97 to the back.
Yeah.
Dude. Benny, it's obviously the size of a baseball. It was purple and yellow and orange and green and black and blue. I go, good God, dude. I go, was that from the other night? He goes, which one?
Which one?
Which one?
The
that
massive.
One. Oh, dude. We just don't give them enough credit. We just don't.
And Profar's got like 8 of those right now. So.
Saw Profar, said hello to him, dapped him up. I wish David Peralta a happy birthday. And then we got to talking to Kyle Higashioka, who is just the greatest guy of all time. And he started in talking about music with me. But it wasn't just music. It was about gear.
Well,
and
Crony mentioned that he loves Van Halen.
Yeah.
You asked Crony, who's your favorite band?
It's Motley Crue and Van Halen, which I love.
Higashioka was putting on his shoes, and he just goes, oh, hey, speaking of Van Halen.
Yes.
Woodsy, I got a new amp.
I got a new amp. And he starts talking to me about gear. Now, I had to do the thing where I nodded along and pretended I knew. I don't know anything about gear. Nothing. And he's telling me, I don't like the tone on this and using this, so I have to do this. I got this tube amp. And I'm like, yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Those are great. From what I've heard, I didn't have the foggiest.
You've got one. It's got an on and off button.
Yeah, it's a crappy, acoustic amp. He was talking to me, Ben, and I mean for, Paulie, what would you say, 7 minutes?
Oh, yeah.
And me sitting there going, yeah, really? Sure, no way. Yeah. And I was a wreck. I was like, please end
He's
the
like, yeah, I got this new foot pedal.
Yeah.
And we're just like, oh, yeah, I love that model.
I love that model.
That's a great,
good.
That's a great one.
Makes you go faster, right?
I did not want to hurt his
feelings.
feelings.
The T349?
The TK429?
Oh, you don't want the other one.
I was in hell, dude. But he's such a good dude. Such a good guy. So then Crony did say to Schilt, hey, I'm DHing today. So if I can pitch,
what do we need? 8 runs?
What do we need? It was at one point, wasn't it 8-0?
It's you need a 10-run lead or an 8-run deficit.
8-run deficit or a 10-run lead. So we didn't quite get there, but it was cool, man. The guys. You talk about walking into a clubhouse with a different feeling than if you walked into that clubhouse a year ago. Today, it was a whole different vibe. I mean, completely. Now, people weren't hanging from the ceilings and dancing stuff. But you walked in and you saw a really confident team. We talked to Ruben. We talked to Ben Fritz. The pride that those guys, you could feel the pride from Fritzy talking about the bullpen. We told Ruben about the new name of the back end of his bullpen, which is, of course, Ass. Adam, Scott, Suarez. And he started dying laughing. He goes, I mean, you can't really put that on a T-shirt. I go, I mean, you can't, but somebody will, and I can wear it. And probably if somebody wants to make an ass T-shirt, I'm all about it. Let's bring in that ass and get out of this and win this game. But it was a lot of fun, man, seeing the guys and saying hello. And it's just, that's our little corner, man. That's where we like to matriculate to. And everyone's playing really well and very, very excited.
I noticed it was it must have been mail day there because every single player's locker was
Stuffed.
full
Stuff.
of what looked like fan mail and gifts that people had sent them. Like Jackson had this cool painting on his chair.
That was from Dylan Cease. Dylan Cease painted that, and he is placing it on different people's chairs for them to autograph it for him, his own teammates. He painted this picture.
Okay, I didn't get the story on that.
Yeah, and they're all signing it. So it was sitting
What's
on
it a picture of?
just a painting.
It was like
like an abstract painting.
Okay.
Yeah.
no, the one I saw was like a 16 by 20 painting, but it was like a baseball card.
Oh, Jackson's.
Yes.
Well, the other one that was sitting up against it waiting for his
I saw
signature
that
was
one,
Dylan
yeah.
Cease's.
That one was cool.
Some of those guys keep a messy locker. They really do. I'm not going to call out any names, but I walked through and went, you got to clean this up a little bit. All right? Get fined for this. But great day all around, and obviously the results of the game were spectacular. We'll talk about that today, and just exactly what the doctor ordered, and a little kiss of the Rally Roach to keep the good vibes going here in San Diego.
Hangover Thursday, Throwback Thursday. Set the menu when we come back. It's Ben and Woods. Here's Kelly with the traffic on 97.3 The Fan. Got a pretty busy Throwback Thursday for you coming up on the program today. Obviously, we will get into the Padres' 8-2 win over the Pittsburgh Pirates in our Padres Wrap-Up in our next segment. But it's also a Throwback Thursday. That means a game of real or fake. Chance to qualify for the trip to Las Vegas at 7:10. Don't do this at 7:20. And then because he was traveling yesterday, the five-time All-Star Adam Jones will join us at 7:35 this morning. Then in our 8 o'clock hour, our regular Thursday feature, our super polished, yet-to-be-named Smart Baseball weekly segment with Eno Sarris from The Athletic, brought to you by 7 Mile Casino at 8:35. Reindl Report at 9 o'clock. We got more Journey and Def Leppard tickets to give away on the program today as well. And it just should be a nice Thursday. There really is a lot of positivity right now. It actually makes it harder.
It does.
To come up with questions today for the roundtable from 10 to 11 o'clock. We'll all be together for our Roundtable Pizza Padres Roundtable. And I realized, when things are kind of going iffy.
Well, even if it's 500, it's like
there's
easier.
Plenty of discussion topics and questions. And, should they do this or should they do that? Trade deadline's coming up. At this point, there's really no more moves to be made.
Right.
Okay.
You do have a
topic to bring up
and I
about
like
that.
I like it.
Involving potential moves that could still be made on the show today. It's a little early to start talking about playoffs and things like that. You don't want to jump the gun.
Ooh, I got an idea. Where should the parade route be? Where would it start?
A little early to jump the gun on that one.
We'll wait on that.
So, it was a
thought
bit
of
a challenge.
Makes me sick.
Especially after
Mount Rushmore
5
segment.
cocktails coming up with topics for the round table. So
Mount Rushmore of moments. We've already done the moments.
We did. We did that in the first half of the season.
Of course you did.
It's almost like I speculated that the roundtable would run out of gas at some point in the middle of the season.
No, I came up with some topics. Should still be a decent roundtable today.
Ooh, that pizza's going to hit good today for you, as Dominic says.
That will be a nice sopper-upper.
All right, so what do you guys think we should do? Just hungover eating crust in there. No, man. Hey, listen, I'll take that any day of the week. Coming in here talking about a ridiculous winning streak and another sweep, I'll take it. I love the positivity. It's really fun. It takes a lot of the negativity off of Twitter about everything else. This guy not getting the job done or that guy not getting the job done. It's kind of hard to argue with the results right now. And just yesterday was just so much of what we needed.
Padres literally have too many guys getting the job done right now. They can't put them all in the lineup with the guys that are getting the job done.
It's not adult league where we can bat 12.
Yeah.
I can bat, if all my guys are hitting, I can bat 12 guys. Really. I batted 13 last week. Everyone still got 5 at bats. So everyone gets to eat. But if, one guy's getting the job done, it makes it pretty difficult. But yeah, man, there's so many guys. They talked to Schulte about that after the game yesterday. I think it was AJ Cassavell that asked the question and was like, so, how do you get contributions from all of these guys? Like, guys come ready to play every day, and it's their pregame work. I think he said it was crisp and sharp, and we saw it. We saw it down there, guys getting work in, even though they weren't in the lineup. So there is a good feeling right now around the San Diego Padres. But, there's a really good feeling around the Arizona Diamondbacks, and last night's loss notwithstanding, there's a really good feeling about the LA Dodgers.
You'll actually hear that clip of Mike Schultz talking about contributions in our Padres Wrap-Up.
I love that,
right,
and that's coming up next.
Get to that when we come back. Don't go away. We got plenty of Padres talk ahead with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. When I got up early this morning at the hotel, I had to go get my car, and big bouncer guy who was waiting there, must be a tier 1 because he knew who I was, but he said, I'm a Pirates fan. I'm from Pittsburgh. And I said, oh, you must hate Jackson, Maryland. He said, well, now that I live here, I've also become a Padres fan.
Sure.
And honestly, Padres are going places this year, Pirates aren't, so I'm kind of happy the Padres are winning these games.
Of course.
But we were wondering, who are the Pirates fans out there? Because the Padres just murdered them.
They did,
last
man.
6 games. They lost double digits now in a row.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's a tough one, but Padres taking care of business against the lower level teams. In fact, remember at one point this season, I got this stat from the UT this morning. They were 15-20 against teams with a losing record. Yeah. Since then, 23-4 against teams with a losing record. So
that is the mark. That is the mark of a team that can really do something.
Kind of fix that problem. Well done. We will talk about the game with our Padres Wrap-Up coming up. First, this hour on Ben & Woods is brought to you by Express Employment Professionals. If your supply chain demands a flexible workforce, hire with Express Employment Professionals. With contract and full-time workers from Express Employment, you get the staff you need and manage contingent labor costs. Learn more at expresspros.com. That's expresspros.com. Traffic and then all of Jesse's highlights of the 8-2 win next here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Just one problem to mention here, guys. It's a crash on the coastline, northbound 5, right before Cannon. It's got the 2 left lanes blocked. Looks like a couple vehicles involved in this one. That's northbound 5 before Cannon. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I love winning, man. I love winning. You hear what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Oh, my God, I'm so stiff.
Miss any of the Padres win yesterday? Ben and Woods didn't.
What up, crew?
We've got you covered with all of the highlights.
I like it when the Padres win.
Yeah! It's the Padres Wrap-Up, presented by Hamul Casino. With thrilling slots and tables and all the best rewards, Hamul Casino has all the fun you're looking for. Hamul Casino, fun above all else.
Yeah! Give me a do damage.
Do damage!
Jake swings, hits it in the air, on a line, deep to right, towards the porch. Gonna go! 3-run homer for Jake Cronenworth into the Petco porch. And before the Padres have made an out here this afternoon, they've got a 3-0 lead. A 1 pitch, Arise muscles it in the air to shallow center field. Taylor charging, he'll dive forward, can't get there, rolls behind him. Wade's gonna come in and score. Arise motoring into second base, throw from Reynolds, no chance. RBI double Luis Arise, and the Padre lead 4-0. Another little miscue will cost the Pirates. Left-handed batter, of course, swings at the first pitch, lines it just fair down the right field line. It's going to roll all the way to the corner. Cronenworth has scored. Manny's on his way. He's going to score. Throw home, no chance as he slides in. Feet first, Merrill into third. A 2-run triple and a 6-0 Padre lead. And first pitch swinging, Peralta sends one in the air to deep right. De La Cruz is back at the wall, looking up, gonna go! How about a birthday blast for David Peralta? His second home run of the series. And now 8-0 here in the third. Baseball schedule on full display. 1-1, hit in the air to deep left field. Profar is back, kind of twisting around. He will jump, and it's going to be over the fence, a home run for Joey Bart. Got it about 3 or 4 rows up over the left field wall. Number 11 for the former Giant. And the Pirates will not be shut out for a second consecutive day. 8-1 here in the 6th inning. Here's the 0-1. Kiner Falefa in the air to right field. Long run Peralta towards the line. Going to have to play it on a hop. De La Cruz will come home from third base. Everybody advances one station. An RBI single for Isaiah Kiner Falefa. And now an 8-2 game here in the 9th inning. 1-2 again to Connor Joe. He takes, and strike 3 called. Filthy slider from Morejon, and the ball game is over. Padres sweep the Pirates here in 2024. They have now won 19 out of their last 22 games, and they outscore the Buccos 13-3 in taking 3 straight here at Petco.
Yeah, you know what? We've talked quite a bit, Ace, about the contributions from the entire 26. We, again, on display today. Wade goes out, grabs 2 knocks, scores a run, makes a good, does a good job on the base running play. Full bore, ready to score, and that ball on a rise. Reynolds comes in, clean inning. So we're getting the contributions that we want and are grateful for from all our club.
Padres with their 69th win of the season.
That is nice.
Moving a season-high 16 games above 500. They have won 19 of 22. That's the best stint in franchise history. And an 8th straight series victory. They had already clinched that, but make it another sweep for your San Diego Padres, who continue to absolutely roll. And as Jesse said, 3 runs before you made an out, and it turned out to be enough for the entire win, because the Pirates only got 2 the entire game. Nice job by Martin Perez, again in his 3rd start as a Padre. 5 1/3 innings, 5 hits, just the 1 earned run. I think he's given up 4 solo home runs, accounting for all 4 runs in his 3 starts that he's allowed. Gets his first win with the Padres. Struck out 8. He strikes out more than I always expect him to.
Yeah, man.
Because he's not a flamethrower, but
he's a pitcher.
That breaking ball has been very effective. And I want to throw all the praise in the world on Ruben Niebla for what he's done, but Martin Perez actually figured it out the last start in Pittsburgh, where he threw like 6 shutout innings.
Yeah.
And I just kind of rolled with it once I got here to San Diego. Obviously, they've helped fine-tune, and
he's given a lot of credit to Ruben.
He
too.
has, but technically, he said I kind of figured it out before I even got here, and it's just kind of been rolling through once I joined the San Diego Padres.
There's a lot of things about this gig that I am massively grateful for every day, and there's just one little thing that I got to see yesterday that I'd never really seen before. As they were about to close the clubhouse, Paulie and I were kind of standing by the logo, and I just kind of glanced over to my left, and it was Ruben, and it was Campy, and it was Martin Perez sitting at this table, big giant box of donuts. I was going to ask somebody if I could have one, but I didn't.
No.
I thought,
thank God, I'm glad you.
Could you imagine? Can I get one of them?
Like, I am so sorry about him. I'm so sorry.
The 3
that would be your contribution. Eating one donut so no one else did.
I'll eat all of them.
Keeping
them fresh and fit,
healthy, and ready to go for the game.
Correct.
And How did you gain all the weight?
I ate all the donuts in the Padres clubhouse. But I will say this: that box of donuts sat empty. But the donuts, it did not sit. It sat full.
Untouched.
No one got any. So they're very focused. But that wasn't the cool moment. The cool moment was seeing those 3 over there putting their heads together, going over the charts, the plan. That was cool. And it was just a brief little thing that I got to see kind of walking out the door. But I went, oh, yeah, the meeting. They did the meeting right there about how are we going to attack these guys? What are we going to do? Pretty cool stuff. And Martin Perez, I was watching the slow-mo of some of his change-ups and stuff yesterday. Phenomenal. Just a phenomenal attacks the zone, the whole thing, and a total competitor. I don't know, let's just ride this wave of Martin Perez coming in and being a 6-inning, 7-inning shutdown guy. I don't know how long it's going to last. I don't care. He's been so good since he's gotten here.
Luis Arraez had another 2-hit game, 2 for 4, RBI double in the 2nd inning. He's upped his league-leading average back to 307. Always amazed that he's been doing this with a torn thumb ligament for the last month. Jackson Merrill, 2 for 4. You heard that 2-run triple in the 3rd inning. Another multi-hit game for Jackson. The David Peralta home run. 2 straight days with home runs for David Peralta. I like the birthday blast call.
Yep, me too.
That was good by Jesse. And ultimately, Mike Schilt's strategy of using his high-leverage relievers in the 3-0 game on Tuesday looks pretty smart in retrospect, because he did not have to go to his high-leverage relievers yesterday. Brian Hoeing, Sean Reynolds pitched. They got Adrian Morejon in for an inning after he was coming off the flu. Shaky, but just trying to get him some work there in the 9th inning after he had been battling the flu.
The stuff looked good.
And so all those guys, though, Suarez, Adam, Scott. They're the back end of the bullpen. Plus any of the other guys who didn't work now get 2 days off at least because of the off day today. So a real chance to kind of reset as you go into what is now maybe the last toughest stretch of the season coming up. 18 games in 18 days, beginning in the toughest place for pitchers in Major League Baseball, Coors Field, against the team that has been your personal nightmare and nemesis.
What's that record? 44-78 or something against them?
In how many? I don't. At Coors Field, 4-6 this year. You can still win the season series, but you got to sweep them. Yeah, and they have played. They've played well against your San Diego Padres. Now you won't face Austin Gomber, the the personal nightmare.
Steve Carlton of the Colorado Rockies.
In this series coming up. But I have no illusions that these are going to be 3 easy games, even though the Rockies are a last-place team.
How many wins do we have?
69.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's nice. It's very, very nice. Now, what is 81 minus 69?
12.
If they win 12 more games, that's what
69.
That's what we all had basically as our. That's what they're going to win. They're going to win 81 games. And boy, they were on a pace for it. They were really, really on a pace for it for a lot of the season. It just can't be said enough how great this has been. I will ask you guys this: we're a pretty positive show. We like to get excited when the team's playing well. I feel like we've done a good job there, but I also feel like the fact that we're still kind of watching the other teams and what they've been doing, I feel it has taken away, not from what the Padres have done, but taken away your joy a little bit.
Just because you almost never gain any ground on anybody?
It makes me...
Now, yesterday you did get one big game on the Dodgers, who lost to the Milwaukee Brewers 5-3 to snap their 5-game winning streak. So you're now 2.5 back. Diamondbacks won again, though. They never lose. Just assume.
I never lost.
Just assume the Diamondbacks will win the rest of their games this season. Then when they do lose, it'll be a nice surprise at some point. But they clobbered the Rockies for their 6th straight win. They swept the Rockies, so that's the standard that has now been set for the Padres this weekend. So both teams 2.5 back. Both teams continuing to lead the wild card race by 4 games over the Braves, who clobbered the Giants and may have kind of put a stake in a lot of the Giants' hopes this season. I saw a lot of grumbling about Bob Melvin from the Bay Area, the old tweet that in hindsight, maybe when he was struggling with the San Diego Padres, that should have been a red flag last year that we shouldn't have been so eager to go out and hire him.
Snatch him.
No idea if any of this is Bob Melvin's fault this year with the San Francisco Giants, but they were really disappointed with that series getting swept by the Atlanta Braves. Mets won, so they're still 6 games behind the Padres and Diamondbacks, the first team out. Cardinals are slipping, though. They lost to the Reds. The Reds caught the Cardinals in the standings with a 3-game sweep. Phillies won. They snapped a 4-game losing streak. So, most of the teams continuing to win and match the Padres in the playoff chase. But I think the Fangraphs now, it's not a sure thing, but I think it was up to 95% is what they have as the Padres' odds to make the postseason. If they go, there's 40 games left, Woods. If they go 20-20, that's 89 wins. That's 20-20, which is quite... we'd feel shocked if they started, just playing 500 ball right now. We'd go, "What happened to you? What happened to this
95%
team?"
chance making the playoffs. Projected record 91-71.
Okay, yeah, 91 wins would be.
That's 22-18.
Yeah,
very, very reasonable. It gets you to 91.
Very doable. Again, I'm not
the way
trying
they're
to
playing. That would actually be kind of a letdown.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm not trying to throw cold water on anything. Obviously, anything's possible, but I have loved every second of this. Don't get me wrong, but it is. Paulie and I yesterday when we sat down before the game. I looked at Paulie. I looked at my phone. I go, just like this. I go, effing 3-0 Diamondbacks already. It's the first inning. Paulie goes, "You're joking. Like you're kidding me." And then yesterday I turned on the Dodgers Brewers games. I watched Walker Buehler walk the bases loaded, and then watched the Brewers get nothing out of it, and was like, "You have got to be kidding me." Is the whole world against us? Now the Brewers did end up winning that game, but yeah, man, it doesn't. It makes me very proud of what the guys are doing, but it's also like, isn't this just the way it goes? You're playing the best streak in franchise history, and so is everybody else that you need to lose.
I'm
it's
just
crazy.
Trying so hard not to get too deep into the scoreboard watching.
Me too, man.
September 1. It's on.
I know, dude.
But right now, just enjoy this run that the Padres are on. You can't control
it. The
Diamondbacks winning or the Dodgers still winning. There's nothing you can do about it until you're playing them.
Yeah, 100%. But I continue to just remain so impressed with what these guys have done, dude. It's truly staggering.
Ben, what year did you become a fan of the San Diego Padres?
As soon as I can remember baseball, probably 4 years
79,
old.
Yeah,
so
1980. It's been
I
a
probably
long
went to my first game right around 1980.
It's been a long time. There's been a couple of World Series
appearances.
Appearances. Where does this team rank? Is it this one has this streak? The last? Would you say 21 out of 24 or whatever? What's the franchise record that they just set?
19-22 that they've won.
19-22.
So This team reminds me now. In 1984, when I
very
was
average first half of the season.
when I was
So
9, you didn't really know better, but obviously it was special because they'd never done it before. They'd never gone to the playoffs. It's 15 years. They'd never even been there. So that was a very special season, and you had the series with the Cubs and the playoffs and just the excitement around San Diego. But there was not much of a race. They just played solid baseball most of the year. To me, this reminds me more of 1998. That was a very magical year for the San Diego Padres. Had Steve Finley's early grand slam walk-off winner, and it did feel a bit like Team of Destiny the way they played throughout the season.
Have you let your mind go there? Start to go there as a fan?
Absolutely. This is, I think, from what I've seen so far, one of the top 3 teams in Padres history.
Yeah.
Now, history will judge them on what they do in October, assuming they get there. And if they, go 2 and done in the wild card round, we're not going to have that fond of memories. But in terms of a team playing together in good baseball, I know they were just 500 basically at the All-Star break, but this is definitely one of those special seasons as a Padres fan. There's no doubt about it.
It's been very, very special, and I
It
think
feels like it's becoming a special season, not just a special 3 weeks, special run.
And I feel almost like I'm taking it for granted a little bit, so I'm going to try not to do that. You know what I mean? I'm taking it for granted in that when we get down a couple of runs, I'm like, I'm not worried. I don't have that same angst that I've had because I've just really enjoyed the way that these guys have played the game. A lot of credit to a lot of guys in that clubhouse, the skipper, the pitching coach, the bullpen coach, and, of course, the players who have just really been stubborn and refused to lose. It's been pretty cool.
And the formula for success is a rather simple one. This is also pointed out in the UT this morning. They have been hitting better than anyone in the league, 289 average over the last 22 games, and they have been allowing fewer runs than any team in the league.
That'll do it.
3.1 per game. When you hit better than everybody and you pitch better than everybody, you're going to win a lot of baseball games that way.
That's good analysis.
Hey, you remember
right
Mike Schilt said, hey, we just need to marry up. We've been doing some hitting. We've been doing some pitching. We just need to marry those things up. Well, this is what it looks like after some wedded bliss of hitting and pitching together at the same time. However, even though the trade deadline is over, could there still be players out there for the pennant races? An interesting story popping up this morning that we'll get to coming up next here on 97.3 The Fan. But theoretically, you'd think that rosters are now set. There's the trade deadline's over. There's no more waiver trades. So,
I think I said it yesterday.
These are the teams you have to live with.
You get what you get. You don't throw a fit.
But there is a potential option out there for teams that are still looking for help. Now, if you remember last year, the Los Angeles Angels got to the deadline and tried to make a couple of moves to improve their team. Didn't work out. They
made a buttload of moves, didn't they?
And they were clearly out of playoff contention, but it was too late. They couldn't trade anyone away. But they said, well, why do we want to keep paying these guys if we're not going to go to the playoffs? And they DFA'd Hunter Renfroe and a couple of other players. And now there's some thought, and Ken Rosenthal did some reporting on this in The Athletic, that the Texas Rangers may go the same course this post-deadline season. The Rangers, who were very Padre-like from last season in their approach to the deadline, they kind of bought on the margins, thinking they got a little hot right before the trade deadline, bought on the margins, and have again collapsed and are out of it. They won't be defending their World Series title this year, but they didn't trade off their good players, the guys who are going to be a free agent to be. So now they're just stuck finishing out the string of the rest of this season with no real chance to make the postseason and no way to trade away some of the guys they could have. But they don't necessarily have to pay him. And Ken Rosenthal suggested at least that it's being discussed that they may just DFA a guy like Nathan Eovaldi, who was last year's World Series pitching hero for them, and get out from under the rest of his contract this year, which is only about $2.7 million. He's got a vesting option for a $20 million contract next year, but he's a good pitcher. And he didn't stop there. They said, Andrew Haney, who's another one of their starters, relievers David Robertson, Kirby Yates, Jose Leclerc, could all be just let go, and the Rangers could save up to like $6 million the rest of this season. They know they're not going anywhere. Why not just save that money? Of course, this would have a huge impact potentially on playoff races in either the National League or the American League, because if they do that, they immediately go to the waiver claim system, and every team, based on reverse order of record, could put in a claim for those players, including the San Diego Padres, who you never can have too much pitching, Woods. The problem here, though, is that I would think that teams that are now below them in the standings, like the Braves or the Mets or even the Cardinals, would get first crack at all these guys and could bolster their teams while the Padres just watch helplessly. They could put in claims, but would not get any of these guys. And to me, this is not what baseball is supposed to be in the last couple of months of the year.
Getting some, if you want, in my opinion, like if you want to get the rental player, that's what the trade deadline's for. But it's going to cost you, and it's going to cost you more than money. It's going to cost you prospects and pieces of your future. And I don't know, man. I look, you ask me if I want Nathan Eovaldi on this team for $2.2 million, the answer is a resounding yes. And I could probably be convinced of Andrew Haney, even Kirby Yates, maybe, but you just mentioned three teams. I got to imagine St. Louis Cardinals, the New York Mets, they're going to be all over.
Man, it's not like your fantasy football team where you put in one waiver claim and you go to the back of the line. You know how that works in fantasy football? No, the same team could claim three guys, and if they have a worse record than anyone else who has made the claim, they get all of those three guys. Now, they'd have to find room on their roster and, potentially send guys down to the minors or DFA their own players at that point. But if they think that they could help and, for a playoff push, we'll see if the Rangers actually do that. I think it's a bit of a betrayal to your fans, even though you're out of it, just to save money. I mean, you can make the argument, hey, we're not going to get there this year. Let's trade for prospects in the future. These guys are free agents to be. Yeah. We're building for the future. When you DFA a guy, you're only saving money into the owner's pocket.
That's right.
And the owner can say, well, we'll reinvest that in the team next year. That's an extra $6 million we'll have to play with for our roster next season, but it's still a bad look.
Bro, this came out 5 hours ago, this piece by Chad Jennings in The Athletic, and Chris Young himself, GM, said, where we are in the standings, we have to start looking to 2025 and beyond at how we're going to bounce back from this. We are starting those conversations. I think, look, if we got him, I'd be elated. If somebody else got him and he came and shoved, if the Mets get him and he goes and shoves against us, I'm going to be furious.
But if the Padres, get Eovaldi, the Diamondbacks aren't going to be happy about it. The Dodgers are certainly not going to be happy about it. I mean, Well, I guess all's fair in baseball, but this is not what the trade deadline was designed to stop this from happening later in the season. They stopped the waiver trade deadline, so you would have to be locked in for at least a couple of months. Like the team that you're playing in October, at least you're seeing them in September and August. But this throws a monkey wrench into the whole business of late season moves just for teams that want to save money.
You can, if you get DFA'd now by your team and you get picked up by another team, you're absolutely eligible, because somebody just put it in the chat. Somebody brought up Cody Ross getting picked up by the Giants in 2010. They picked him off waivers to block the Padres. They were behind the Padres in the standings at the time. They won the World Series. Now, Cody Ross turned out to have some big knocks for those guys down. So you are playoff eligible.
Yes, I think there is a deadline for playoff eligibility, but it's not yet. It's September, I think. So, yeah, you'd be able to pitch in the postseason. A guy like Evaldi, who has tons of World Series experience very recently, last year, valuable commodity if they decided to let him go. But they can't trade him. They can't get anything for him. They can just save the money and throw him to the Sharks, whoever wants to claim him.
Brandon says, who has priority between the D-backs and Padres? Same amount of head-to-head wins. I don't know that a guy like Evaldi is going to get to the Diamondbacks or the Padres. I really don't.
So I don't think so either. The tiebreak at this, if it was today, if they did it today, the tiebreaker actually goes to the Diamondbacks based on division record. That's why they're listed first in the standings. Now that won't come into play because there's no way they can finish head-to-head tied. They're 5-5. There's 3 games left, unless one of those games gets rained out in Arizona, which seems really unlikely given both the roof and the Arizona weather. They're going to play those 3 games, and someone's going to win the season series and have the tiebreaker between those 2 teams. But right now, I think theoretically the Padres would be first in order based on the tiebreaker.
Were the Rangers the only team that can? Because I know
that's
the
the only one that was mentioned.
The Rockies
could do the same thing.
The Rockies already did it to Diaz, their catcher.
Yeah.
He's already been DFA'd. Somebody can pick him up. Ahmed Rosario was DFA'd by the Dodgers. No one's snatched him up.
That was more of a roster clearing move than a money saving move
for Mookie Betts. Yeah. Yep. I don't know how many teams are going to be interested in doing this, but there could be potentially another arm out there to help you.
Need a contestant for real or fake. If you want to call in, chance to qualify for the trip to Las Vegas, 833-288-0973. Dial now, 833-288-0973. There's certainly some talk, and they probably should have talked about it last offseason too, about implementing a rule where you can't just do this at the end of the season.
Yeah.
And that may be something that's discussed, winter meetings and putting some sort of procedure into place where teams can't just DFA players to save money and then just throw them all out there on the waiver wire in the last couple of months of the year after the trade deadline. But right now, I don't think you can change the rule at the moment. Rangers know what they're operating under, and they have the option to do that if they want to do it like the Angels did last year.
Man, could be really, really interesting.
I would hate for that. I would hate for Evaldi, even if he was on the Padres. I mean, I'd like it more if he was on the Padres, but for that guy to be like pivotal in a playoff race for a team that didn't have to do anything to get him other than luck into him, essentially, doesn't feel right.
I mean, again, we played. Did we play the Cardinals again or no?
Yeah,
we did.
4 against the Cardinals coming up. Mets and Cardinals. Both coming up soon. You may have to face one of those guys.
I would really hate that. And the Mets have money. The Cardinals probably. Everyone's got 2.2.
Even the Padres, I think, have enough under the luxury tax level if they wanted to do that move.
Everyone's got 2.2. Right? Chris Young, come on, dog. Just hang on to him. Do us all a solid.
We'll pass the hat if you really need.
Exactly. You need $6 million or whatever. We'll make it happen for you. We'll sell some T-shirts or something.
All right. That was just an interesting story that I ran across this morning that I wanted to bring up. I see some callers. Let's get to it. It is time for a Throwback Thursday game of real or fake.
Some are here for the compelling sports talk with Ben and Woods. You can go plow through another donut. It's time for Real or Fake on 97.3 The Fan. Tell the people what they'll win today.
What we're playing for is a chance to win our grand prize at the end of the month. It is a 2-night stay at Resorts World Las Vegas and 2 tickets to Carrie Underwood Reflection at Resorts World Theater. Her residency now underway. You can get your own tickets at access.com, that's AXS.com, and RWLasVegas.com. Paul, you want to help me pick one? Just anyone. Just pick one.
Let's try line 4.
All right. Caller, who's this? Josh?
Hello?
Josh?
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
What's your name?
Josh.
It is Josh. Okay, Josh, you are our contestant today on Real or Fake. Here's how it works. We've got 7 items here. If you can separate the real from the fake 4 times out of 7, you'll qualify for the grand prize. Woodsy's here to help you instead of playing against you. He is your biggest ally in this game today.
Right. I have no interest in winning this, except for you. Like, this doesn't do me any good. So
All
let's
right,
go.
Labor Day is just around the corner. It's peak travel season here in these United States of America. I'm on staycation right now as we speak. So today's Real or Fake should be good for the frequent flyers out there. Our game today is a simple one. I'll give you a city name and a 3-letter airport code. You have to tell me if it's real or fake. Like if I said San Diego, S-A-N, Woodsy, you would say?
Real.
Real. Obviously, that's our airport code here. Yeah. So if I said Los Angeles and I said L-O-S, you would say?
Fake.
Because that would be L-A-X. You understand, Josh, how this works?
Oh, yeah, I work at an airport. So.
Oh, no!
Dude,
Are
you
this
kidding
should
me?
be-
Just give it to him now.
This should be the easiest game
This is like when Cliff
in
Clavin,
history.
Cliff Clavin went on Jeopardy at Cheers, and they had, like, the mail.
Wow.
Beer.
Now, this is going to be embarrassing if
Yeah.
he loses, though. Josh, now the
Like,
pressure's
if you
on.
get one
He
wrong,
works.
I think we just need to go to the next call.
Ooh, no.
All
Give him a
right,
shot.
here we go. Round number 1, real or fake airport codes. Des Moines, D-E-S, real or fake? Josh?
I do believe that is real.
Yes, it is.
That is fake.
Damn it!
0 for 1.
Thanks for calling, Josh.
Damn it.
Kidding.
Oh,
Let's go to round number
We're
2.
We're all right. We're all right.
Detroit, D-T-W, real or fake?
That one is correct.
That is real.
It's real.
Correct.
I was going to say fake. I thought it was D-E-T.
No, it's not DET. All right, let's 1 and 1. Let's go to round number 3. San Antonio, S-A-T, real or fake, Josh?
Woodsy, you got anything?
San Antonio, S-A-T.
S-A-T.
I think that's real.
He thinks it's real. Josh,
I'll go with it.
have you ever been there?
Yeah.
It is real. Very good. Remember the Alamo. All
Also
right, that's
got a
2 correct.
960 on my SATs. Yeah. Very
You
good.
kind of like this SAT better.
Much.
All right, round number 4. New Orleans, N-L-A, real or fake?
I'm going to say fake for that one.
Fake. And NOLA, it is fake. It's actually MSY
That makes sense.
for the Moisant Stockyards where they built the airport to begin with. I didn't know that one. All right, that's 3. You're 1 away from a win. Let's try this one. Kansas City, KNC, real or fake, Josh?
That is fake.
That is
Fake.
fake. MCI, Mid-Continent International, and that's a win for Airport Josh. A little slow start, but he bounced back quite well.
I like that
what's-
he's Airport Josh from now on. Josh.
Portland,
That's
PDX Woods.
That's real.
That is real.
Yeah.
Buffalo, BUF.
Real.
That is real. All right, good job, guys. Josh, hang on the line. Paul will get your information and put you into the drawing for the grand prize. Get away to Las Vegas later this month.
O'Hare in Chicago.
Okay, so there's 2. There's the Midway,
Yep.
which is MDW,
I think
and
so.
then O'Hare is ORD.
ORD.
Right?
Very
Yeah,
good.
ORD.
Look at you old SOB.
You're a Chicago guy,
I
so you
am.
know that one.
Yep.
All right, we've got a Don't Do This is coming up next on Ben and Woods.
As it
And-
always does.
As it always does.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to bring up the what happened to golfer Hideki Matsuyama on his way back from the Olympics to the FedEx Cup playoffs that are starting.
I can't wait
Gnarly
to hear.
story here. Gnarly story. So I'll get to that and more coming up next with Ben and Woods after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. All right, jump into Don't Do This, 2 things that make you shake your head, and then a positive Do This story at the end. I will begin, though. So Hideki Matsuyama, golfer, PGA Tour, just won the bronze medal at the Olympics in Paris and was on his way back to the States. The first leg of the FedEx Cup playoffs begin today, actually, in Memphis, Tennessee, at the FedEx in Tennessee. And on his way back, though, they had a stopover in London where he, his caddy, and his coach were all robbed. And in the incident, Matsuyama said that his wallet was stolen.
Wow.
And his caddies, Shota, his passports and visas were stolen as well for the coach and the caddy.
Like they were robbed like at gunpoint?
So the details don't say if it was like a holdup or if like they were just all in the same like hotel room and it got broken into and stuff got stolen
or something.
They just said they were robbed. And unfortunately, because his caddy and his coach had their passports and visas stolen, they weren't able to travel to the United States. They had to go back to Japan to try to get expedited paperwork, but he's not going to have his normal caddy or coach this week for the tournament. Now, there's
a big
one big piece of good news that came out of this. Matsuyama said that his obviously passport wasn't stolen and his bronze medal was not stolen. He had it, but they didn't get it somehow. So he was able to somehow hold on to the bronze medal, but he's headed now to start the playoffs this week, which, of course, 3 legs of the playoffs culminating in the Tour Championship in Atlanta in a couple of weeks.
It's a big purse this weekend.
Yeah, Scotty Scheffler said yesterday that he called the playoffs silly. And I can't imagine the PGA Tour likes that. But he's kind of mad because he's been the first guy at the end in first place going into the tournament, and he gets a little head start, 10 under.
A big head start.
He doesn't play well there, so he never wins the FedEx Cup. And he goes, so I could win every tournament all year long, but if I get a sore neck and have to pull out of the last, I get 30th place overall in the FedEx Cup because it only comes down to the whole season comes down to one tournament.
It kind of gives me vibes, though, of we had too many days off and we got to reset our pitching rotation and we got to give guys rest.
I mean, the PGA Tour is trying to create some drama. He is pretty much just pooping on it, going like, this is not really the best way to determine a season-long champion by giving me a 2-stroke head start at the end after I've won 7 tournaments all year. I get a 2-stroke head start on the second-place guy. I mean, but he's not wrong, but it's also bad luck.
I guess.
Bad luck, yeah.
Just play better.
Was he?
Yeah.
You're up.
It's an interesting story here. It's a multi-layered Don't Do This. Tottenham, the English Premier League team, has suspended. Tottenham Hotspur have suspended Yves Bissouma for Monday's Premier League opener after the midfielder posted footage on his social media of him huffing nitrous oxide.
So this is like the guy in the NFL draft with the gas mask.
The gas mask. Now, Laramie Tunsil didn't post it. Somebody else did. Right. This guy on his own Snapchat. Hey, what's up? And he's taking hits of nitrous. And so there's a couple different Don't Do This. Number one.
Nitrous is illegal.
Yeah.
Or wherever he is illegal. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're a dentist. I hope to get some today, but I'm going to the dentist.
Do you ask for it?
100%. It's phenomenal. When you're at the dentist's office, that's what it's for.
Just be careful. I've seen Little Shop of Horrors.
I have not, so I don't know what you're referring to.
Never mind.
All right. So
how have you not seen that?
He posted it. It's a Class C drug, and he posted it on his own Snapchat. So again, you're also an elite athlete. Nitrous can have really devastating effects on your body, your nervous system. The more and more you do it.
I was confused. I was thinking helium for a second when their voice changes.
Why would he do that? Just to be funny?
Yeah, you post a funny video where you inhale helium.
Let's go, Tottenham. Well, who would do that?
Dude, how do you do that without the helium? You can do that with that. That's amazing.
It's so dumb. Dumb. It's a dumb thing to do. It's also a dumb thing to post. I don't get... Stop posting your illegal transgressions, for the love of God. You're already famous. You don't need the clout. Now you're going to now you're suspended. So smarten up out there.
I've forgotten about the story. I want to hear Woods do a segment entirely in
so hard to do.
Voice. Is it tough?
Good morning.
Oh.
Yeah, Roman says Kanye Kanye, that's kind of what his trip has been the last couple of years. Whatever calms the nerves. Yeah, Johnny,
now, this
it
is the
puts you
same
to
thing you
sleep.
inject into your engine to make it go faster,
Yeah,
right, too?
yeah.
It's got multiple uses.
Yeah,
all
buddy.
of them illegal.
You cannot,
illicit.
you cannot do that. And yeah, and doing a helium video is very funny. I'll do that at one of the kids' birthday parties or something. But man, dude, it is it's a bad look.
All right, speaking of bad looks, Chicago White Sox have been a bad look all season. However, we'll give them a little doo-doo this
DD mega doo-doo.
At least what they announced yesterday after putting together the quality 29-93 record that they have.
Good God.
It was time to send out the old renew
email.
your season ticket email. And to their credit, they did not raise prices. They did not keep prices the same. They said we are going to lower prices by 10%. We're going to knock 10% off your bill. That seems to me even a little light for what kind of season they had.
I'm thinking 40 is probably the right number.
I know we had the whole discussion about the Padres 3% increase, but at least the Padres are 16 games above 500.
That's right.
The White Sox are 64 games under 500 right now.
44 and a half out, I believe, of a playoff spot. They've been eliminated.
64 games under 500. That gets you 10% off. Maybe send out some buy one get one free coupons as well. For
Honestly,
next season.
now that I think about it, I don't.
So if you pay $2,000, whatever, for your season tickets, you'll now pay $1,800 next year. I don't know that I'd still have trouble with that after this season.
Maybe it's a don't do this, in fact. Maybe you should have gone 50%.
Yeah.
It's not enough, I don't think, in my opinion, for the White Sox.
Here's the quote from...
Don't do this.
Here's the quote from Brooks Boyer, Senior Vice President for the Chicago White Sox. We understand where all the ticket prices are, whether it's season ticket prices, secondary market. After looking at that, understanding where we are organizationally, we thought it was important that it's something that we do for our season ticket holders who have been very loyal to us. 10% off.
It's not enough, actually.
What's enough? You know what? If like if I go and I see a sale like in the window and they say 10% off, I'm just walking straight by.
I think I'm the same way.
I need to see like 30, 40% off before I'm actually like intrigued. Oh, really? 40% off sale. Okay.
50 is a guaranteed buy.
Right.
No
Absolutely.
matter what it is.
Yeah.
If I don't even need it, I'll probably still.
That's too good of a deal to pass up.
A lawnmower, 50% off. I'll take that. I don't even mow my own lawn, so why would I need it? But it's 50% off, so I have it if anybody needs one.
But 10% is not
You're
doing
right.
a ton
Maybe that
for
should
me,
be a
actually.
don't do this.
Yeah.
But I mean, you couldn't have gone the other way. You just couldn't have gone the other
you
way.
can't.
There's no way.
You definitely can't increase ticket prices.
Yeah, I don't want to
after
give
that
that
season.
That is terrible.
That's don't and sort of do this for a Thursday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we missed him yesterday. He was traveling to Milwaukee, I believe. Spoil the surprise of where in the world is Adam Jones. At least I think he's in Milwaukee.
I think so, too.
He will join us next as we talk to him on a Big League Thursday. And then 1 hour from now, Eno Sarris will be with us for our Smart Baseball segment coming up at 8:35. I wonder if he got some thoughts on what the Texas Rangers could do here and how it could impact the playoff races coming up this season. So we'll have plenty of time for AJ. That is coming up next. Don't go away. More Ben and Woods on the way on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Before we call up Adam Jones, it is a Throwback Thursday, and Paulie has a clip from Adam Jones. This has got to be, what, 2 or 3 years ago?
Oh, yeah.
2 years ago.
2 years ago, he was sitting, if I remember, on his veranda, kind of in...
Wasn't he on a yacht?
No, he was. It was his backyard.
It was like a backyard veranda.
It was overlooking the Mediterranean Sea.
He had like a spread in front of him, all kinds of stuff. And we had a hot mic on him beforehand, recording.
We had him on Zoom.
Yeah.
And Manny had just done something that Manny does. He wanted to come on and record him saying, Manny blanking Machado.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, let me record. I'll put it in record and then I can beep it. And while we were still recording, he goes, hey, I can hear him in my ear. He's like, hey, check this out. And he like flipped his camera around and he was showing us the spread.
The spread. That's right.
And that led to this.
Show you. You want to be jealous, you bastards? I don't know. I'm going to switch the camera. Look at this, you fat asses. I know you fat bastards want to eat some of this. Look at you. You rotten, no good mother. Look at you. And this beer, fire.
Hammered.
Fat ass is number one. Then,
compared to Adam Jones, absolutely 100%.
And compared to most, but also, you fat bastards. What? Are you kidding me? I mean, obviously, we're boys. We're breaking balls. That's what boys do. But it laid me out. I needed.
Be jealous, you bastards. I don't know. I'm gonna switch the camera. Look at this, you fat asses. I know you fat bastards want to eat some of this. Yeah. Look at you. You rotten, no good mother.
That's my favorite part.
This beer, fire.
You fat bastards. That was unbelievable. Save that.
You fat.
I love AJ.
That was 2 years ago with Adam Jones. He's standing by. We'll get to AJ right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Well, folks are doing a pretty good job of staying out of trouble on our freeways. Still going to find lots of company in the usual spots, but at least no incidents or accidents getting in your way. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3.
Well, if he's got a big spread in front of him right now, it's probably bratwursts and fried cheese curds and stuff. In Milwaukee, Wisconsin, I believe, joining us is the 5-time All-Star Adam Jones after a travel day yesterday. AJ, I'm sorry we didn't get to hook up and play our golf. It'll just have to be next time you're in town.
Yeah, man, a lot of things, everything always just gets busy. Seeing friends, and especially this week was tough because it's the last week that my friends' kids were off to college. So spending time with them, trying to just, ease the parents' minds as their young baby goes away for college. So it's starting to get busier and busier, but it's a blessing that now my friends' kids are going to college and, we're in a different generation now.
Yeah, we are, man, and hopefully you'll be back here full time soon. We'll have all the time to play golf as much as we want, as long as you take us with you to your country club, and we will play and we'll have a great time. You'll always have some golfing buddies in Ben and Woods and Paulie for sure. AJ, so you're
always welcome.
Yeah, great. Are you in? You're in Milwaukee to what? Watch Dodgers Brewers or what?
Yeah, I came here to watch the Dodgers and Brewers, see my boy Quentin Berry, obviously San Diego native, Morris High School, always representing. But every time I'm in the States, I try to come see him. His family's not with him now, so the kids went back to school, so come out here and, make them laugh for a few hours and just be around them and head back to the East Coast, see the Orioles. And then my guy Markakis will be getting into the Hall of Fame next week, and I will be there to celebrate him because he was one of my favorite players to watch and to play with.
What a good friend he is. Just going around, seeing all his boys. It was, and for us as Padres fans, really nice to see Quentin Berry and his squad get a win last night. I mean, there has been no give. I mean, really, really, as much as the Padres have won, there's just been no give from anyone else, and it was nice to see that dub last night.
It was a great win. I mean, it didn't start pretty. Montas gave up 3 in the first, and it didn't look pretty. Buehler loaded the bases up, but then Kiermaier made an unbelievable double play, throwing the guy out at home, and that spirited them. And then obviously the scrappiness of the Brewers. They just kept fighting back, put up 2, put up 3, ended up winning the game, and that was a great win because obviously the Padres and the Diamondbacks took care of their business. They've both been playing so well. And again, the Dodgers, they just don't give up. They don't let up. And You know, although the Padres have been playing unbelievable, they closed the gap, but the Dodgers are still playing solid baseball.
Yep.
And what the Padres need to do is continue to play that game. And I want to ask you guys a question because I asked this to Reindl Hearn on my podcast, and it's a dumb question, but it's actually something that if you really think about it, it might make sense. But I only think it makes sense for the Orioles only because the other teams are too close. So winning the division, 3 of the 4 teams last year, they lost. They got eliminated because they had the bye and they had the 5 days off.
Yep.
So say the Orioles, a younger team than the Yankees, say they don't win the division, they will still be the 3rd seed. So they get to still host. They only get 1 day off, and then they get the 3 games. They don't get time off. They get to keep rolling. Is that beneficial for a team to do? To not win a division, but to finish 3rd so that you can keep the momentum going, or is it beneficial to take the time off?
We talked about this.
I'm winning the division. That's my answer.
and we talked about this because we asked you this, and what I have a problem with is those division winners like the Dodgers. I think who else did this? The Braves maybe complaining about the time off, and we actually talked about a convo we had with you, and Paulie and I had this convo at the game yesterday. And wasn't Adam's take a couple of years ago like, "Give me the time off"? I can't remember. I think that's what it was.
Yeah,
You're like,
give me the time off.
Give me the time off. And my whole thing is, and I said it, and I stand by it. If the Padres win the division, and then they have that time off, and then they go out and get bodied, I'm not blaming the layoff. I'm blaming the Padres. I really am. And just like I blame the Dodgers and the Braves and everybody else but I don't like this new system. Well, I mean, you had time to get rest.
After 162 games, don't you want that?
You want
rest?
it, I think.
I
right,
mean,
Benny?
you look at
it's you don't like. I think guys that are going into the playoffs, it's a second kick of adrenaline. I've been in the playoffs, and that adrenaline is crazy. I've also seen where my future was going. What's today's date? By today's date. So there's different when you're playing last 40 games, knowing that you're about to go on vacation rather than your 40 games you're going to be in the playoffs. It's a little bit different motion. And I think older guys want the time off. I think younger guys mentally might need it off. But it's such a tricky
it really
thing
is.
Because guys fought. They were complaining when we had one playoff game, the wild card.
Yeah, that sucks.
We have only one game. Okay, we gave you 3. Now on the other side, the other guys are mad at you. They have 5 days off. There's no making everybody happy. No. It's just a matter of, I think it's great that more teams are getting in the playoffs, obviously, with the 3rd wild card.
Here's how I look at it, AJ. Tell me if you agree. So we always look at the examples of teams like the Dodgers and Braves that get knocked out after that layoff and go, well, they weren't able to keep the momentum going. But you never point out a team like, let's say, the Mets 2 years ago. When they got the home 3 games against the San Diego Padres, they won 101 games, but ended up 1 game short of the Braves at the end of the year. So then they had to play that wild card series. And, they got it at home, but guess what? They were out of the playoffs after 3 days because they had to risk it in the wild card series, which is why I think you always want the bye. If you've got the bye, you have a 50-50 chance, essentially, of getting to the league championship series. If you go to the wild card, you got a 50-50 chance of winning the wild card, and then another 50-50 chance. That's a 1 in 4 chance of getting to the league championship series. So while you may have to always play a team that is hot if you had the bye because they just won a playoff series, you're still already there, and you're missing a whole round of risk that could take you out of. You're missing a round of risk that can take you out of the playoffs, and to me, that's the most valuable thing. Even if it does take a little bit of your momentum, saps a little bit of your momentum going into the postseason.
And AJ, let me do you one better.
I 100% agree.
Let me do you one better too. And I was talking about this with the fellas and in the locker room yesterday. The Dodgers usually. They're done right now. They're done. They have the division wrapped up. There's no threat. This is actually going to be interesting to watch down the stretch. They're going to get pushed a little bit. They got pushed by the Giants a few years ago, but watching them actually have to maybe ratchet it up in September, really for the first time in a while since that Giants push, is going to be interesting. Good teams like that, now they're going to have to actually try and go out and execute and win games. That could be an interesting thing to watch down the stretch because usually, man, they're on cruise control the last few weeks.
They are, but I was talking to them yesterday. They understand. They understand that they can't be on cruise control this year. And their 2 pickups were big with Ahmed and Kiermaier. They didn't add the offense. but they solidified defense at two incredible positions that they've been struggling at. Shortstop is a position they've been struggling at. Center field, Outman has not, bounced back and had a good sophomore year. So they've been able to go get two guys. And watching the game last night, Kiermaier was able to impact the game tremendously on the defensive side. He had a good offensive game too, but they made some good moves. So it was just a question that I had. And, like I said, I'm always going for the division. I think that when you hang that banner up, I don't want to hang a wild card banner up. I want to hang an AL East or, West, whatever banner up. And it was just something I was just thinking about because it's going to happen again to a team, and they're going to complain about it again. So it's just trying to get ahead of the complaints and be like, well, we told you. This is what it is.
Yeah, remember, 11 of the 12 teams in the playoffs are going to lose.
Yeah,
so, we
Yeah.
can't just they lost. It was because of this. It was because of that. No, it's because you got a 96% chance of losing even once you get to the playoffs because the playoffs are hard. Talking to Adam Jones, the 5-time All-Star. I asked this of Brett Boone yesterday, and I want to ask you the same question. Padres are playing literally the best baseball they've ever played. They've never won 19 of 22 games. What do you think? You remember, what was the best stretch you were ever on a team during your career? And what was, the key? What was the mood? Just how did that all come together? Because this is rare and special what the Padres are doing right now.
Yeah. I think our year was 14, where we played every game that entire year knowing that, hey, we still got a chance. Don't worry about it. If you're down 3-0, down 4-0, don't worry about it. We played baseball. We moved runners. We bunted. We hit behind guys. We did all the things that the analytics say, don't do that. We played baseball. Number one, you have to remember, you're playing a baseball game. You're not playing a numbers game. You're not playing an analytical game. You're playing a game of baseball. When those games starts, you have to play and adjust to what you see. And we did that. We wanted to win every day. We sacrificed individual numbers, and our numbers were still good, just as good, because if you play a whole season, and you can attest, you can ask Matt, he was there. You play a whole season, no matter what, your numbers going. If you're a good player, your numbers going to be pretty good if you're healthy. But if you play winning baseball, that is the fans treat you differently. The fans of Baltimore, they love the way I played the game of pure baseball. And the Padres right now are playing that. They're going first to third. Obviously, Merrill's playing unbelievable, but they're just playing fundamentally sound baseball. It's not a secret. It's not, they're doing this better. No, they're catching the ball. They're getting that foot down on offense. They're pitching really good. They're playing great defense. They're just playing overall good baseball. And again, when you slump, you pinpoint things. Just go back to how good are they just playing overall baseball? Are they turning the double plays that should be turned? Are they taking the extra bases that should be taken? Are they scoring on singles that the base hits with a man on second base that you should score on? Are they doing the little things to play? Now, the great plays, the home runs, the 3-run home runs, all that kind of stuff is cool and sexy. But if you don't play baseball, draw the walks late in the game, if you get hit, take that hit by pitch. It's okay. You got some ice underneath. You know what I mean? Break up that double play. Just do the little things. And that's right now what I'm seeing on the Padres since the All-Star break. They've done all those little things. And then again, bam, you get a big home run in the 8th inning.
I keep hearing, too, on the broadcast. Jesse and Tony were talking about it yesterday on my drive home from the ballpark about the buy-in. The buy-in. Buy-in is key. And I don't know that buy-in has been something that's been here in many, many years. I think a lot of that goes to Mike Schilt. A lot of credit goes for that. But again, I think the presence of a young, energetic Jackson Merrill that has that mentality of I refuse to lose. Did a youngster ever come? Was it Manny that you said, when he came in, you're like, all right, this guy a little arrogant, but we know that he can play, and he has injected a little bit of life into maybe some of the vets. There's a lot of credit that needs to go around, but the buy-in from everybody, including Manny and Xander and guys like that, has been pretty incredible.
Yeah, I would never use the word arrogant with Manny, ever. I would use the word confident. Arrogant to me is somebody that they're just scared to really do it. They just talk a big game. Manny doesn't talk, he does. And it's good. That's confidence. He's a Miami kid. If he was from Wisconsin or if he was from Michigan, he'd probably be a little bit different. He'd probably be a tool. But he's from Miami, baby. That's just the part. That's the Miami kids. And you can have the young dude interject your team. And, we came when you had myself, JJ, Markakis, Wieters, and then this young kid comes up playing third base, and after 3 games, we're like, well, damn, all right. Well, you know what? He got a seat at the table because he is impacting this game from the first pitch to the last pitch, and that's what Jackson Merrill is doing. So he's getting a seat at the table. I know he's a rookie. Maybe he's not talking at the table, but he's definitely getting himself a seat. And, you know, you feed off, especially when you get older, you feed off those youngsters that just are pushing you because they want to beat your butt too. They want to be where you are, and you just see yourself in them. So, you know, like a Peralta, you know, who's had the last couple of years, not the years that he had in Arizona. He's doing a terrific job filling in for Tatis. And I talked to him. He's like, man, just playing with Merrill, dog. He's energetic. He's got so much energy, so much passion. Playing with Profar, and it's like the energy that these guys play with. And young dudes can definitely be leaders. You know, the age factor is not a thing. I play with guys who are older, more time, and just straight morons. So couldn't lead themselves to the bathroom. So I would like young dudes. I don't mind young dudes stepping up. Obviously, there's a correct way to do it, and he has veterans to do it. But no, he's like I said. To me right now, Merrill's the team MVP.
Last one here, AJ. You mentioned, you know, taking the hit by pitch when you need to. Jerkson's taken like 8 of them in the last week. Jake took one like 97 to the back. Woods saw the bruise still yesterday.
Oh my God!
In the clubhouse. I don't think I've asked you this before. Do you remember the gnarliest hit by pitch you took in your career, and who delivered it?
You know, I've been drilled. I've been hitting the hands. I got hit on the wrist by 98 from Brandon Morrow. I've been hit on the hands, been in the head, back, ankles. The number one was by Maryland native. Why am I drawing a blank on his name? He played for the White Sox, though. And big right-hander. And he hit me in like 2011 or something, 10 or 11. And he just hit me in the back, 92, 93 mile an hour fastball in the back. For some odd reason, for 9 or 10 days, I couldn't lift my left arm. Like I didn't go on the DL. I tried to heat and do it. I don't know what happened. I could not lift my left arm. And it wasn't the hardest pitch I've been hit with or the most painful, but it turned out to be the most lingering. And I'll never forget that one. I was this definitely is.
Was it?
And there's one other one.
Brian Shaw?
Was
it Brian Shaw?
No. He was a starter. Big old starter.
Danks?
And another one
was
lefty.
Righty.
When I was with the Diamondbacks, Yu Darvish hit me in the lips.
The lips.
Like
watch
it didn't
your lips.
smoke. It watched my lips. It grazed my lips. My lips were burning for 3 days straight.
How do you?
Like they were on literal fire.
How do you get
I don't
your
know how he
lips
didn't hit me in the
burned?
mouth. Got these big soup coolers, baby. Got these soup coolers.
Grazed.
Grazed these lips, man. And I was like, how the hell
What do you
did
do
it
for
hit me in
that?
the face?
Chapstick? What happens?
I have never heard somebody say, I got hit in the lips.
I got hit in the lips, dude. And the ball just grazed my lips and burned. So it felt like a first-degree burn on my lips.
That is absolute pure gold.
And Darvish was like, I'm sorry. So my thing. Sorry. I'm like, don't worry about it, man. You hit me in the face. I'm all right.
AJ, appreciate it. Have a good rest of your trip in Milwaukee, and we'll talk to you again next week.
No do it, man. I'm going to go get myself a nice big old brat.
Yeah, sounds good.
Enjoy.
Adam Jones, the 5-time All-Star, always one of our favorite conversations of the week. Hitting the lips.
Soup coolers. like, holy cow.
Hope it wasn't the seams, at
That's
least.
probably what it was, dude. It wasn't the flat part.
Yeah.
It had to be the seams.
Just the skin off. Ow.
Oh, my God. That is just incredible.
Wow.
It never disappoints, man. Never disappoints. That was great.
All right, we will come back. We got 2 hours still to go. Well, 3 hours because it's Roundtable Thursday. But in our next hour, we'll have Eno with us for some smart baseball as we do each and every Thursday. We have more Throwback Thursday as well. Mark Grant going to be making an appearance on Throwback Thursday coming up.
Yeah.
You saw Mud, didn't you, yesterday?
Sure did.
Oh, it happened again.
It
happened again. We have a picture to prove it.
All right. That is coming up in hour number 3 of Ben Woods. Next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we are halfway home on a Thursday. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Our audience is incredible. I did get it confirmed with Adam Jones that it was Gavin Floyd is the one that dotted him in the
6'4",
bat.
245 out of Maryland, Annapolis, Maryland.
Yeah.
So he had the details, just didn't have the name.
And then one of our Friar Jared just found the Adam Jones
I need to look this up.
getting hit by Yu Darvish in the lips. And yeah, it's a pretty gnarly video.
Wow.
But yeah, so that was everything's confirmed, and now all your questions have been answered here on Ben and Woods this morning. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, the executive producer. Ben Higgins is your friendly neighborhood sports anchor. And we went down yesterday, Paulie and I. So the move is you go down to the ballpark, you walk in the clubhouse first because there's limited availability and time, and then you walk up to the broadcast section and you say hi to all of our friends up there. And we had a chance as I turned the corner. I was going to go back and say hi to Jesse and Tony. Mud Grant walks right. Hey, Woodsy, what's up? Hey, Mud, how are you? Big hugs. And Paulie walks up. Hey, Paulie, how you doing? So we start shooting the breeze, and I've told the story about Mud. I've also had it confirmed by Don Orsillo, Jesse Agler, Bob Scanlon, every single human that's come in contact with Mark Grant, the great Mark Grant, is that his favorite thing in the world to do is once he gets you, he won't let you go. He's got to show you something on his phone. We've done the coach's dinner with Mud out at PF Chang's or something out of Peoria for fantasy camp. I mean, the whole dinner. Hey, hang on, guys, check this out. This scene from
he'll make a reference.
The scene from Fletch, right? And he
and
holds
like,
up his phone.
You don't know what I'm talking about. Hang on, 1 second.
1 second. So I told him. I said, Mud and I are very similar interests, very similar. And so when he does, it's all ball bearings now. All the bits that he does, I get about 95% of them, but there's some that go
Don
over my
doesn't
head.
get a lot of mud.
I don't know if he. I can never figure out if he gets them
and just ignores
them,
which I do with you sometimes.
Correct.
Yeah.
And some of them you don't know,
but some I don't get. So.
I had one yesterday. Somebody DM'd me about it. I said, "Go home and get your shine box." We were talking about getting shoe shine, and it just went right over your head. You have no idea what that is, do you?
I said it was the box where you keep your shoe shining equipment.
Right. No, it's from Goodfellas. Have you seen Goodfellas?
I think I saw it, but a long time ago.
I'm quitting.
You and Joe Pesci,
yes.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think you can say I think I saw.
I think I saw Goodfellas.
Yeah.
I think you would know that.
I haven't watched it multiple times.
Why not?
I don't know. I'm not. I don't love mob movies. I was trying. My son and I were trying to watch Casino the other day, and I've seen it once, and we're trying to watch it again.
Casino.
Got about an hour in. But
suffer through.
I couldn't finish it. Yeah.
Rotting through Casino. I gotta find a new partner. This is one of the worst days of my life.
Sorry,
hearing this.
You really would be happy with Mud.
We are the same age.
It would be
too much. It would be too much.
Well, that's what works with us.
It would be too extra.
Different enough.
Me and Mud would be way too extra. But so he corners me, and he has some Slapshot reference. Now, I saw Slapshot when I was a kid, and maybe watched it one time since, but it did not resonate. He
mentioned a song
from it.
Slapshot. Goes, you know why I mentioned that song, right?
I go, no, that one.
Slapshot.
Slapshot. I go,
Paul Newman.
And then the phone comes out, and so he's showing me on his phone. Paulie's going to put the picture in the chat, and there he is. There's Mudley showing it to me.
I've got 5 other photos of that exact moment happening.
He's the GOAT.
My
There's
favorite
no doubt.
part was I wish I would have waited maybe 2 more seconds before I took the picture, because in the background of the picture, if you're watching on YouTube on our stream here, you can see an open door. That is the television broadcast where Don and Mud sit. And just to the right of that is Jesse Agler and Tony Gwynn Jr.'s booth. And about 2 seconds after this picture was taken, I saw a head pop around the corner and a cell phone. And Jesse Agler was doing the exact same thing, taking a picture. And he goes, I could hear it happening down the hall.
Yep.
And I thought, I have to get a picture of this happening in the wild.
Yeah, it happens on the plane, on the bus. Anytime that they're together, Jesse has said, at this point, I kind of actively avoid Mud because I don't want to get, hey, remember this from Weird Science when we were kids? And Jesse's like, yes, I remember Chet from Weird Science. Yes, I know the whole thing.
Now that movie I've seen about 15 times.
I bet you have, little pervert. I also watched it a lot when I was a kid, okay? And I know why you did. Absolute pervert you are.
Because they were nerds and I was a nerd.
Well, there's many, many other reasons. Kelly LeBrock being number one. Whew. How did she marry Steven Seagal? Just as an aside.
She just appreciates great musical talent.
And great martial artistry. Steven Seagal got her. Gentlemen, man, God, it makes no sense to me. But, yeah, Mud is just... He's the best. David just said, Mud comes by my shop, and I can confirm he does do this. Yeah, I mean, it's very, very well known. He's in the Siri. Hey, Siri, bring up Paul Newman. What was the song? I can't even remember the song now. But he brings that up, and I oh, yeah, cool. Suffer through it. But it also feeds into another Throwback Thursday we had today, coincidentally.
Yeah, this was 2 years ago, and I don't remember exactly why. I think we were scheduled to have Mud on just to catch up with Mud, and he texted me. He goes, "Hey, I'm on the road right now. You want me to just pop by the studio?" I said, "Yes,
absolutely.
Come on in." And so he came by, and let's see, where was it here? Let me pull it up. He came in, and we were doing the Reindl Report, and I guess I had a story about a new musical or something coming out, and Mud just took over, and here's what happened.
By the way, Grease, probably one of the better musicals ever written.
Yeah.
And just a great story, great songs.
God, I hate musicals. Except for that
do you
one.
really?
Yeah, I just really do.
By the way, speaking of musicals, and I'll end on this, I watched La La Land about a week ago.
Good one.
So good.
Very good movie.
So good.
We're here. We're there. We're everywhere. I can't do. Don't sing your dialogue.
And when I leave here and drive back to Alpine, I'm going to stop on the ramp and just get out of my car and just get on the hood.
It's a beautiful day. God.
You know, you could sing the baseball game tonight.
Love it.
I dare you to bust out some sing-song tonight.
Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain and the waving wheat kiss yourself sweet when the wind comes right behind the rain. Oklahoma, every night my honey lamb and I sit alone and talk and watch a hawk making lazy circles in the sky.
It's unreal, man. It's unreal. He's unbelievable.
Can carry a tune too.
Good night, everybody.
What do we do? We're never going to top that.
No, we have Mud singing Oklahoma show tunes in studio.
He is
pretty much. We should retire.
You're doing fine, Oklahoma, 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 Oklahoma.
Wow. Pipes for tonight.
Summer loving had me a blast.
Can't stop.
Summer loving happened so fast. I met a girl crazy for me.
I met a boy, cute as can be.
Summer
Tell me more.
Tell me more. Did you get very far?
I forgot how long this one dragged on. Holy crap. That is unbelievable.
The only thing that missed was he did not pull up Grease
on
his phone and show us them singing the song. But God, I love that man.
You just wonder then, how much does Don actually rein him in? I mean, that's him coming in and sitting down with us. Don's got to be like, hey, I need you to chill out. All right? Do less. Tell my wife sometimes, hey, do less. Please do less. Because when she talks to other people, she gets real like boisterous and loud and goes, hey, just do a little less. I bet she does it. I bet he does it to Mud all the time. Do less.
Maybe there's
Mudley, you're at a level 10.
signals.
I'm going to need you to bring it down to like a level 4.
Yeah, the old.
Tamp it down. Tamp it down, big fella. Here we go.
It's a great throwback, though. Great throwback to an excellent person. I think we should probably take this opportunity now. I did not see Don Orsillo yesterday. He was in the studio and just kind of had his head down and working. And we all saw the tweet after the game last night where he had announced that his mother had passed away. The great Don Orsillo's mom passed away yesterday, and I had no idea. Nobody mentioned it to us. I listened to the broadcast. He just got through it, man. Don just got through it yesterday, so I wanted to wish Don Orsillo, give him our condolences and our love because we love him. I know everybody out in the audience loves him as well, and whatever he's going through with his family right now, got to be a tough one for Donnie. So, Donnie, we love you, appreciate you very much, and our thoughts are out to you and your family.
Marianne Orsillo, yeah, so tough, especially busy with the season. And
Sure.
don't know all the circumstances, but whatever it is. Obviously, he was close with his mom.
Oh, yeah.
That's a tough one for Don.
We love you,
We're
Don.
thinking about you. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. We've got Eno Sarris coming up at the bottom of the hour. Again, one of those tough, awkward transitions that you've thrown
I like
at
to
me
throw
here,
them
Woods.
at
I
you
know.
guys, and then I just kind of sit back.
Just kind of.
Don, we're sorry about your mom, but Eno Sarris is coming on
I thought
here.
we were going to talk about the other passing that we had yesterday.
Oh, yes. There was
there
another.
you go. Yeah.
And I didn't feel right about doing, shout out for Don. I don't want to.
No, I was like, please don't ask me because I'm not.
No, I'm not.
I'm not going to.
There's certain, some you do and some you don't.
But we do have a shout out.
We
to
do
his
have a shout
family
out to his
today.
family today. Yeah,
and it goes
And
to.
I really hope we can see more unity and more peace when already things are so difficult.
Wallace
So, shout out to his family.
Amos Jr. Wally Amos, better known as Famous Amos, the founder of the Famous Amos Cookie Company, passed away at the age of 88 yesterday. Now, Famous Amos, I didn't really know anything about his story of, who Famous, or even if he was a real person or just some sort of marketing creation. But the native of Tallahassee, Florida, opened his first cookie shop in Hollywood, California in 1975. The brand exploded in popularity over the years, and eventually he sold it to the big companies and moved out of the business, and it became, of course, the thing you find at 7-Elevens and convenience stores, and it's packaging everywhere. But he actually did start of it, a mom and pop shop for Famous Amos.
I'm going to say this. I bet that his shop on Sunset Boulevard, I bet those cookies were fantastic. You get the sense that, we all grew up, Betty. What was the place we went?
Mrs. Fields.
Mrs. Fields.
At the mall?
At the mall.
I would beg my mom, please, can we go to Mrs. Fields and get one of those warm chocolate chip cookies?
Yeah, it was a bag. Sometimes you get the bag of the little ones.
Uh-huh.
Oh, my God, you just could plow through those. But I bet you they were similar to that. Now, I will say this. Whenever he sold his business, and whoever bought it, turned it into Famous Amos. If you have a bag of Famous Amos cookies, I don't want to be insensitive here. It's maybe the worst cookie out there, potentially. Chips Ahoy.
They're not good.
Chips Ahoy / Famous Amos.
The juice isn't worth the squeeze.
There's no juice in those because they taste like little discs of wheat or like flour, or there's no juice in
the
them.
Chocolate doesn't even taste like
chocolate,
really.
It really doesn't.
It's like stale little chocolate chips.
What did they do
it's
to
like
it?
You just bite into it. It's just like powder.
It's a.
What'd you do to it?
I've got what'd you do to it? I've got a sweet tooth like a madman, if you couldn't tell. It's so the last bottom of the barrel. It's like if it's there, I'm like, how bad do I want it? Like, am I going to go into grab, is it worth it? Is it worth it for me to satisfy my sweet tooth? Does it even really satisfy it? The Famous Amos cookie. Because I think.
Do I have anything else?
I think we have them in our
vending
machine here, and nobody buys them.
Always in stock.
Always in stock.
Yeti says there's more moisture in drywall. Those cookies.
So true. Now here's an interesting fact I did not know. Your wife Megan's in the chat, and she said Mrs. Fields was my first job. Huh. You couldn't have put. It would be. I'd be so high on my own supply, dude.
You are not allowed to sample any of the product. You just have to sit here all day, sell the cookies, and you don't get to eat a single one of them.
I quit. It would be 2 for you, 1 for me. 2 for you, 1 for me. All day. They would find me on camera like those
quality control.
Quality. Buddy, since we hired you, we actually lost $75,000 this month. I don't know what happened, man. I love those things so much. So, shout out to Famous Amos. Shout out to his family. We'll do it again. Why not?
Shout out to his family.
There you go.
I'll tell you right now, an underrated cookie, very underrated cookie, is the 2-pack in a little bag that you can buy at the counter at 7-Eleven.
Do they make them fresh in
Thank
store?
me later if you haven't had them.
They're elite.
They are the perfect consistency, the chewiness, outstanding.
I've always been afraid of the baked goods, of the rolled goods, the roller things at 7-Eleven, the hot dogs. I'm afraid of all of that. I just don't know where it's been.
I love the egg salad sandwich. I'm joking.
Sushi.
Paulie, the sushi there is fantastic. No, Paulie, the cookies and I'll do you one better. The brownie there is.
Haven't had the brownie.
It's maybe the most elite brownie you can get.
They got the 2-pack. I get the 2-pack of the oatmeal raisin cookies.
They're so
99
chewy.
cents.
Yeah,
they're perfect. Perfect.
All right, if they have some famous Amos in the vending machine, I'll bring some in, and we'll all have one in his honor.
In his honor?
Today. Yeah, I'll go check. I'm pretty sure that. Now, we did just get a new vending machine. Like,
it may not have
like
the
a
same
week ago,
stuff in there.
Well, we'll see.
Will we be able to talk after we chew our way through those cookies is the problem coming forward, because we do have to reset. We've got Eno Sarris. Why did I keep doing that? Eno Sarris coming up at the bottom of the hour.
Maybe your 14 cocktails are catching up to you right now at 8:15.
Perhaps. And then a Reindl Report coming up. And then the roundtable at 10 o'clock this morning, all ahead. Ben and Woods, quick check of traffic, and then back with more here on 97.3 The Fan.
Unfortunately, there are no famous Amos. Or I guess, fortunately, there are no famous Amos cookies.
Chips Ahoy.
Yeah.
I mean, those do qualify as a very dry cookie, but I feel like they're supposed to be that way, so it doesn't bother me as much.
I sure do love a moist cookie. Moist, is that the right word?
Yeah.
For a cookie?
Well,
or is that for cake?
Cake probably more is what you're going for, a nice moist cake.
Yeah,
but
moist cake.
Bunt cake.
Bunt cakes are delicious, but I don't like a crispy cookie unless it's very thin.
Even then, I'd prefer the
I'd prefer the soft
chewier
ones. Yeah. If your wife goes and makes Nestle's Toll House, just cuts up the deal, puts them on the pan, throws them in the oven. What's your go-to? What are you grabbing? As soon as it's out, hey, cookies are ready. It happens like once a year in my home. What is your first? How many do you grab off the
three?
Jump street.
Three.
Okay, I'm a 4.
3. No, 3 is the right number.
And I make like a.
How did you gain all the weight?
Well,
I eat 4 at a time.
You say to yourself, "I'm just going to have 2,"
and then you have one,
and
extra.
then you have the third one invariably
because you can't eat one. One is not even worth it.
One's not going to happen.
One to me is like having one beer. That's for me. It's like, what am I going to go have one? I like you, and we can just talk on the phone. I'm not going to meet you for a beer.
You want to talk like yearly tradition kryptonite? My wife makes they're small. They're like the size of like a little bigger than a quarter. They're like peanut butter cookies with the Hershey's Kiss
on
pressed
top.
in.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember what they're called. Bro, they're
thumbprint.
thumbprint. Yeah. Bro, I'll eat 8 of them at a time.
In a sitting.
They're so good.
But every time I go 1, 2, 3, 4, and I pop them in. Now they're this big. I mean, they're the size of a silver
as big as you
dollar.
want to make.
Yeah, it's true. But
the
way she makes them, they're small. That's my justification. Well, I mean, I'll eat 4 of them because they're small.
Had they been bigger, I would have only had
the 2.
1 or 2.
That's one of life's greatest pleasures, is it not? The cookies fresh out of the oven. It's one of life's best things. Period. The end. You walk in, you go, what the? You making cookies? Yeah. In 3 minutes, you're like, oh my God. It's one of life's greatest pleasures.
It's Ben Woods on San Diego's #1 dessert station, 97.3 The Fan.
Fine by me.
People get mad if we stop talking about desserts, so we try to stick to the dessert talk. Occasionally we'll get off topic and discuss the Padres and baseball and sports, but for the most part, it's really cookies and cakes and pies. Oh, you should see our pie segment is legendary.
It is. Breads.
Every single week. Yeah, breads. You don't all have to be sweet goods. Any baked goods, really, we can discuss on the program.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, red velvet, overrated, Melomel says. I agree. I will skip the red velvet. Today is National Lemon Meringue Pie Day.
Overrated
which,
as well.
Really?
Yeah. I don't like the
little foamy top, the meringue top.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
No.
I'm out.
No meringue.
Huh. Wow. Polarizing topics today on Dessert Radio.
Yeah.
No meringue.
No red velvet.
Famous Amos, dead and gone.
Red velvet is for perverts. If you like red velvet, you are inherently a pervert.
It's just chocolate.
Let me ask, Ben, do you like red velvet?
I don't.
Oh, that
actually.
surprised me because you are a giant pervert.
Well, you know what makes it red? Well, mostly food coloring, but beets. They put beets in it to make it red.
Know that.
Yeah,
It's just food coloring.
kind of lost me there on the beets because I don't like beets.
I don't like the flavor. I just feel it's very pervy if you like red velvet. It's just very
it's very popular now.
It is. It's
Just give me a good old apple pie.
Yeah, apple pie's delicious. All right. Eno Sarris.
You know who's
coming up next?
It's been surprisingly productive for your San Diego Padres this year.
Who's that?
Tyler Wade.
Yes, dude. Somebody posted his record.
17-12 when Tyler Wade starts, which doesn't sound crazy, but if you
Oh no, they posted the record of when he appears in a game,
just in a game?
It was like 47-20 or
well,
something.
even when he starts, they play well above 500. That doesn't sound like much, but that's over 30 games. So the Padres have played 4 30-game stretches. So they're actually a 20 games over 500 team at this point with Tyler Wade, which is better than they are right now. They've been a better team with Tyler Wade starting than they have the rest of the games without him starting. Doesn't make a ton of sense, but he does always seem to do something when he's in there.
Had a couple of knocks yesterday. Yeah. I mean, look, there's a Tyler Wade on every single championship team. Every single championship team has a guy like that. They really do. Look back at the Texas Rangers last year. Maybe it was Travis Jankowski, Freddie.
Austin Hedges,
right? Who didn't really do much, but he was there, being the glue guy or whatever. But he has been a real kind
and
of
even
find.
when like yesterday he's filling in for a Gold Glover at short in Ha-Sung Kim, looks solid defensively. He's got a good arm. I mean, he gets that throw over there pretty well. Given that he can't get that many reps, obviously, I'm always pleasantly surprised by what they've gotten out of Tyler Wade this year. And, they used him a lot the first month when there was the injuries and Manny, and they kind of was the forgotten guy for a while because they picked up Solano and Peralta, and they have plenty of those, the 10th man guys. So he went a long time without playing much, but he's still, when they need him, he's there. Plug him right in, pinch run him, whatever they need. Give him some hustle, give him some defense, get a hit here or there. A lot of them are like infield singles that he beats out with his leg, but those count just the same. I mean, he's been a good player for the Padres this year.
Really has, and definitely fits in the culture, and definitely is loved by the guys. You can see it. I mean, he's a part of the team. Bryce Johnson's probably the least productive Padres player this year, but even then, he's had his moments of being productive. So it's been a pretty special group to watch, man. And
the all 26, everyone's got to contribute, it's
no joke.
But for the most part, when you hear guys talking about it, it's not really all 26. You're hoping like 21 out of the 26 are doing something for your team, and you're just calling it everyone's contributing.
This case?
With this team, it almost really is the all 26 mentality for the San Diego Padres this year. And honestly, it's been more like 34 or 35 because there's been relievers that are here and, like Gillespie, who've come up and thrown some innings and aren't really part of the team necessarily, but have played a pivotal role even beyond those 26 men on the roster this year for the Padres.
Yeah, big fan, man. I honestly, when they signed Tyler Wade, it was one of those guys that go, he's not going to be here in 3 weeks, so I'm not going to get super upset about it. Dude, but I did say he is the kind of guy that you'll look up and be like, he's still here. He found his way into another big league clubhouse, and he's really... now he's contributing and really seems to have found a home. Sticking around. You gotta tip your hat to that.
All right, Eno Sarris will join us coming up next for some smart baseball on Ben Woods, San Diego's #1 dessert station, 97.3 The Fan. Well, it's getting serious now. We told you earlier, San Diego Padres fan graphs over 95% chance to make the postseason. It happens when you win 19 out of 22 games. Good things. And we will talk with Eno Sarris from The Athletic about the Padres run and what's ahead here coming up right after a check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Robert Half. Well, some of our freeways are winding down pretty nicely. No real trouble spots, except watch out for a large rock reported on Leucadia Boulevard on-ramp to northbound 5. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. Robert Half is here to help. Our recruiting professionals utilize an award-winning AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent.
Well, I think I got a tough one for Eno right off the bat here today. Because as the Padres and Diamondbacks have surged, and teams like the Phillies and Yankees and Orioles have not kept up the pace they did earlier in this season. You look at the top of the just overall standings in baseball, and you've got now 8 or 9 teams all within like 2 or 3 games of each other. So, Eno, as we welcome you on this morning, who's the favorite now in your mind to win the World Series? If you had to pick one team as your favorite to win the World Series, who would it be at this point?
Oh, that's a good one.
I told you it'd be tough.
Because the reason it's tough, I think, is because the Guardians are playing in maybe the weakest or second weakest division in baseball. And even though the teams play fewer divisional rivals than they used to, it's still a lot. It's still most of what you play. So I think beating up on the White Sox has helped them. Their pitching rotation is the worst among playoff contenders. And so you've got the Brewers with a similar situation, maybe. So I think the real contenders are the Phillies, Yankees, Orioles, and the Astros are looking that way, and then maybe somebody coming out of the West. The Yankees are up and down. I don't know if I trust the rotation. The Orioles have lost, Grayson Rodriguez, and so they're down to like sort of one great starting pitcher. I don't know about that Astros lineup, so I guess I'm going to take the Phillies. But
second worst record in baseball since the All-Star break.
Shut up.
With plenty of games to go.
Yeah,
plenty of games to go. We talked about it yesterday. Some numbers came out about clutch hitters, and there was a piece. Somebody put out some stats about who's been the most clutch in late innings and things like that. Jurickson Profar was at the top of the list. Jackson Merrill was up there as well. Bryce Harper was not on the list, but doesn't matter to me. I'm still trying to pitch around Bryce Harper when it gets to October. I think when you look at them and how they've kind of skidded a little bit, what are you seeing out of the Phillies that I know you just picked them to win the World Series, but they have been in a pretty gnarly skid.
Yeah, and I think my point was that it's impossible to really name a favorite right now.
Yeah, no, I get it. And I think part is like, the one I didn't get to is that, if I would pick the Dodgers if, I was just looking at full strength lineups and some of the full season numbers, but they've also been bad recently. I don't know, they're not as bad as the Phillies, I guess, but around 500. So, if the Padres come out of the West, they can join that list of contenders very easily. What I see with the Phillies is Ranger Suarez coming back to earth. Some of their young pitching coming back to earth. Some problems, a little bit of problems in the bullpen, and then just some of the natural up and down. I think Brandon Marsh has taken a little step back recently, but when I was trying to sort of zoom out and be like, what do I think of these teams without sort of really diving into the numbers? And what I see is a really credible, 1-2 in Wheeler and Nola, with enough pitching depth behind them to survive any series that goes long. I see, clutch, established major league hitters in the middle of the lineup. I don't really see problems at the bottom of the lineup. The Dodgers recently have had a really poor bottom of the lineup, but I also see them when they get back to full strength pushing, more and more of those players out. And at some point, the worst two hitters in their lineup will be like, Miguel Rojas and Tommy Edman or something. But the Padres lineup, has the same thing. Once Tatis comes back, there's very few holes in that roster in terms of, what the lineup looks like. I don't know exactly how they'll slot, but Cease is a 1-1, I think, at this point.
Yep.
So they can bang with anybody at the top, and they have pitching depth depending on what happens with Yu Darvish. I do think that matters a little bit. And they have maybe the best or, second best. I don't know, definitely a top 3 bullpen, with the way it's going. So, they can bang with anybody. And I would take them easily over the Astros and Guardians and Brewers and put them in the class like the Phillies and a full-strength Dodgers and the Yankees and Orioles. I mean, those are the best teams in baseball.
Talking to our pal Eno Sarris from The Athletic here on Ben and Woods this morning. I don't want to steal your question, Benny, but you brought this up earlier in the show. We talked about what the Texas Rangers potentially could be doing in the next couple of days and shedding some salary, and which would mean some pretty good arms would potentially be available right now.
You literally stole my next question.
I did, but
you actually jumped in to steal my question.
But you said you were going to lead off with that, and then you went with the old "Who's going to win the World Series?" So
all I care is that it gets asked.
You got to adapt a little bit, But I mean, I can't even imagine a Nate Eovaldi being out there, right? And I'm sure there's 7-8 teams are going to put in a claim on Nathan Eovaldi, but there's some besides the Rangers. Have you heard anything about that? And have you heard about some other teams that may be looking to do this? And could the Padres benefit?
Yeah, the trick with Eovaldi is that he could get pretty close to vesting his option, and his vested option is $20 million for next year. So if you're taking on Eovaldi, you're not only taking on a couple of $1 million at the end of the season, you're potentially taking on the $20 million next year's season. So that will actually limit the number of suitors, I believe. Somebody has to be able to find that room in their budget for next year.
It's $20 million for next season. Is that a terrible number for Nathan Eovaldi?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Not at all. I mean, worst case scenario, he's like a 2-3 instead of, not a 1-2, but he's an established postseason guy who can give you 150 innings. I mean, I think $20 million is actually sort of the going rate. I know some people are like, whoa, that seems like a lot, but no, it's the going rate. So, so just to put the names out there, Max Scherzer's a little bit hurt right now, but if he, gets back off of the mat and feels good, he could be on there. Nathan Eovaldi, Andrew Heaney, Kirby Yates, their closer. Those are probably the most exciting names. One thing that they'll have to do internally, I think, is, and actually David Robertson as well, is probably ask those players what they want to do. Because I don't think that you want to create the idea around baseball that you are the Angels. You know what I mean?
Or do you care, though, since you won? The weird thing is they were, they decided to take this look at the team now with the current record. And I think you have to give the World Series champs a chance, right, at the break instead of now. Had they done this at the break, sure, they could have gotten a lot more back for these guys other than just salary relief. They could have gotten prospects back for the future, but they didn't. They decided to go for it. It hasn't worked out. I don't know, man. Do you think they care since they won the World Series last year? Is a little bit easier to stomach. Yeah.
I just think that they want to sign free agents in the future, and so they don't want to create this sort of aura around baseball like that. You could be Max Scherzer and they'll cut you for $1 million.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I mean?
true.
So I would just go to these players, and I think most of the players would probably say, yeah, sure, I could jump on with someone, maybe pitch in a meaningful games, So I do think that some of the players would take them up on it and for the chance to compete on another team. But you just don't want to cut people that are like, I don't want to unroot my family. And like Eovaldi might be like, hey, I want to be on the Rangers next year.
Yeah,
so,
good point.
So I would want to check with them. But I think and for the Padres, it is interesting. There will be teams like the Reds and Cardinals who have worse records that could jump in. But the Cardinals at the trade deadline were super skinflint. Like, they turned Tommy Edmonds $8 million into like another into another $8 million. You know, like they had no money to spend at the trade deadline. So I don't think the Cardinals are jumping in. The Reds don't have a big payroll. So you'd be looking at sort of bigger payroll teams that would try to block the Padres. So maybe the Giants could be an obstacle. You know, I think, you know, I think the way it goes is it goes to the AL first.
AL first,
so,
yep.
Yeah, so I guess
Somebody's
the Mariners
grabbing him,
could jump
man.
in, but
Yeah.
the Mariners don't spend much money, you
They
know.
don't.
So, you know, there's a lot of like cheaper teams over there, and you know, the Padres would get a chance before the Orioles or Yankees or anything, where they would have the payroll to do it. So, I don't think it goes all the way through the AL. Does it go all the way through the AL?
I think it's AL then NL, right?
Yeah. Okay. I should know these rules.
So should we.
Yeah. So I guess but you know, for the Yankees and Orioles, the question also is this player better than the player on our roster?
Right.
They have pretty good rosters.
Ben,
So,
you're a
you
skinflint,
know,
by the way.
may
That's
find
a great
you may
word.
Find a
Colonel
reliever
Budget.
making it through to the NL.
Talking to
they may get a chance for Robertson or Yates if they want to, you know, to back up the bullpen.
Talking to Eno Sarris from The Athletic, and this is our Smart Baseball segment, and I need someone smart to explain this because I don't get it. The Arizona Diamondbacks, I didn't really get the World Series run last year. I don't really get the run they're on right now. I mean, even with the injuries, they're 14-2 since Christian Walker got hurt. They're 9-1 since Gabriel Moreno got hurt. They're now 3-0 since Ketel Marte got hurt. What are they doing? Who are they doing? What are they doing? Why is it working so well for them? I mean, I know they're not a bad team, but they're not this good, right?
Yeah, they're so weird. One thing that's interesting is that they have one of the lowest whiff rates high in the zone and one of the highest slugging percentage high in the zone. So at a time when baseball is kind of like, you know, we're going to throw the high four seam or whatever, the Diamondbacks are, you know, just feasting on that. On top of that, I think that they're very good at the sort of role player thing. Jock Peterson over there has quietly been 58% better than league average this year. And he doesn't play all the time because he never plays against lefties, but against righties, to have a guy that's good in the lineup. Ketel Marte is, you know, somewhere in the top 5 for the MVP this year. So, you know, and then Corbin Carroll, you know, hasn't had a great year overall, but is slugging 500 in the last month. So, you know, he's figured something out. And they're also just like really solid everywhere in terms of defense. And I don't like the rotation other than Zach Gallen. So it surprises me that they're you know, they're doing so well in the last 30 days. It's like top 3 staff too. But Fott is pretty good. Kelly's pretty good. Like, they're all pretty good everywhere. I think it's kind of the no holes approach where they're like, we don't really have a hole. And then on top of that, we have some stars that are maybe underappreciated.
Well, and also, I think they know they can do it. You know, they know they can do it. They did it last year. They got in by the skin of their teeth.
I like Torey Lovello.
And I like
He's
Torey
a good
Lovello, too.
manager.
I think he's a really good manager. And I don't think he panicked when they got down early. And when, obviously, you stick with a Corbin Carroll, you stick with these guys. And Eugenio Suarez is ripping the cover off the baseball, probably because I dropped him in fantasy.
I thought he was losing his job. I thought he was losing his Yeah.
We all did. We all did.
I thought he was losing his job. But then Blaze Alexander went back down, and, you know, all the contenders for the job just went away, and he's back to slugging again. So
and you pick up Josh Bell and sprinkle magic dust on him.
Josh
which
Bell,
is great,
that,
too.
That Arizona pixie dust. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But
I think
credit to him.
I think you're right about Torey Lovello. One thing that I think that the number one sort of thing that a manager needs to do is vibes manage. And I think that one of the things that you do as a manager, as a vibes manager, is you don't let things get too hot or too cold. You know, when you're hot enough, maybe you give, you know, one of your stars a rest, so that, like, you know, the load management. Maybe you kind of take the air out of the tires a little bit, because you want to be, when they're down, you want them to, okay, Corbin Carroll, now you're going to play 8 games in a row. You know what I mean? So it's like, you kind of manage, even through personnel choices, you're managing the vibes of the team. And he does broadcast like, I'm in charge, everything's okay.
Yep.
You know, and like, I like you, I love you. He says that a lot. I love you. You know, it's like he's trying to like make them feel like. And then Corbin Carroll told me, you know, he's a good leader, I think too. He told me that like he would take all the young players out for dinner on the road because they don't have as much money as he does, and he knows that their bonding and their sort of camaraderie is going to be sort of key to the future of the team. So he's someone who thinks about leadership in the same way that the manager does. So it's a good pairing there.
Yeah, Blue Meanie in our chat says, are they playing any good teams? Yeah, they smashed the Phillies, smashed the Guardians. They're taking on all comers right now. Eno, appreciate it as always. We will talk to you again next week. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I wouldn't bring that up too much as a Padres fan. Some of the recent schedule has been against some easier ones.
We know.
No doubt.
But, well, they used to have trouble against those
We'll
teams, so we're actually happy to see them actually beat the under 500 teams. Eno Sarris, our weekly baseball smart segment, starting brought to you by 7 Mile Casino.
Looking, just pulled it up right now. The contenders with the easiest and toughest remaining schedules from Will Leach yesterday. There's 3 with the easy path. That would be the Cubs, the Yankees, and the Braves.
Cubs aren't a contender.
Well, I mean, technically they are. But the 3 contenders with a difficult path, hold your breath, the Guardians, the Royals, and the Cardinals.
Okay.
So
I didn't think the Padres
no Diamondbacks,
the tougher
no Diamondbacks,
ones,
no
but
Padres.
yeah,
but
they're more in the middle of. I think the Padres. Obviously, this stretch is huge, but nothing is bigger right now. The last 6 games,
massive,
LA, but that's a ways off.
Yep.
In the near future, 2 back-to-back series. They got 4 against the Mets, 4 against the Cardinals. To me, those are 8 games out of these next, I think, 18 that are absolutely pivotal. Because the Mets can get back in. They're the only team really that you're that worried about. They're the first team out of the playoffs. And as long as you even split that series, you kind of cut their legs out in terms of coming back to beat you. But they swept you the first time. So they're going to be confident going in, 4 games at Petco Park. That's, I think, to me, the one that I've got circled, at least in the near-term future. That series against the Mets coming up. I think, what is that, next weekend?
Yeah, next weekend.
Yeah, next weekend, the 4. That's kind of the biggest one. Woo! Yeah, the Cardinals 4 is big, but they've started to slip. They just got swept by the Reds, so we'll see what happens schedule-wise going forward. All right, final hour coming up. Paulie's got some headlines in our Reindl Report, and don't forget, it's a Roundtable Thursday, our Roundtable Pizza Padres Roundtable at 10 o'clock here on 97.3 The Fan. Final hour of Ben and Woods on a Thursday, but don't forget, we still stick around for the roundtable coming up at 10 o'clock. If we have time this hour, Woods, you sent us an ESPN piece by our friend Jesse Rogers earlier today, and I thought this was just like what if speculation, but he says that Major League Baseball actually is discussing it after all the changes they've already made.
Are you surprised? That
there's an actual move afoot that they could be mandating 6 innings from starting pitchers. Mandating.
Please don't wreck your car out there if you're listening to this while you're driving. Please don't. Why would you do this? You have to carry the football 40 times a game. What is it like? If you ever played fantasy football in the last 10 years, games changed, yeah? Right? You used to. I drafted Marshall Faulk and won the league, right? Now you have to have Marshall Faulk, his backup, and his backup because you don't know who's going to get the lion's share of the touch. This is what it reminds me of. If the NFL came out and said, we have to have our stars on the field more. You have to hand your ball off to your running back 40 times a game. LeBron has to take 60% of your shots. Stop telling me how I can win baseball games in 162. I got 162 games I got to manage, and now you're telling me I have to go with my starter for 6 innings?
Well, we can go through some of the details a little bit later. But I will say,
I'm going to ask the skipper about tomorrow.
That the rules changes that were implemented, the pitch clock, the bigger bases.
They're good for us. They're good for us, but the viewer.
What they did is they made baseball look more like it did.
Correct.
When we were growing up.
Correct. They absolutely have. And I think they've worked, but I think you still have.
But isn't that what this would do too? Pitchers going deep into games was what we are used to, what used to always happen. And now starting pitching's a 5-inning stint max, sometimes less than that with openers, and now they act like they're relievers. They come in and throw.
Were guys throwing in the 80s?
They throw as hard as they can for 3 innings and bring someone else in.
That's the thing, man. And also, you're talking about teams with. What did Eno just say? Nathan Eovaldi is a $20 million a year starter. Hey, man, you have to go 6 innings, and you have to do it every 5th day.
Terrible.
It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, Blue Meanie says the recent changes are good. I agree with you. It's a better viewing experience for me. It's really good at a 6:40 game when I got to get my ass to bed and I don't have to stay up till 11, come in here and talk about it, get up at 4 a.m. But River Ryan, who just blew out his elbow the other day and is going to get Tommy John, said it's the pitch clock. I don't know what it is, but I've heard he's not the first player to say, "Hey man, these rules are kicking our ass a little bit. We're not quite ready for it yet." And they did say, Jesse did say, "Look, yeah, it sounds radical, but is it?" And they would also ramp up for a few years, right? One more point of context that is in the story. If the league ever adopted this, it would give teams, players several years to prepare, change training habits before implementing. I guess there's a couple different questions. You should, in my, I guess, false view, every pitcher should be preparing to go as much as he can. Yes? If you're a starting pitcher, your preparation should try, hey, I want to be a guy that can go 6-7
Going
innings.
deep is still a valuable skill.
100%.
Listen to Mike Schilt. Listen to any manager talk about it.
Save it.
And, the ability to rest a bullpen, not overtax your relief guys. It's incredibly valuable. Guys who are innings eaters. You're still looking for those guys.
100%.
The problem is, if I'm one of those guys, if I'm a starting pitcher in Major League Baseball, and I know I get paid for getting outs and getting strikeouts, and they don't really care that I only threw 5 innings. Blake Snell still getting paid, even though I know he threw a no-hitter. But for the most part, 6-inning guy max. You're going to go as hard as you can. You're not going to save anything in the first, second, and third inning and risk getting lit up because you're not throwing your best stuff just to try to go deeper into the games. Why? Because if you do get lit up, you get sent to the minors. You don't get the big contract. You throw really well and only go 5 innings, they don't care. They're going to give you the big money anyway. So there's no incentive for the pitchers to really try to throw deep into the games.
Let me answer Adrian's question quickly, and we'll get to the Reindl Report. If my pitcher goes out and gets rocked for 85 pitches through 3 innings, he's still got to go out for 3 more? No, he does not. It's not
at least one more.
At least one more,
well,
I think,
they say some instances where a starter would be allowed to leave early might include 100 pitches, give up 4 or more earned runs. So if you just don't have it, they could take you out after 4 runs, or you get injured, but then they'd have to put you on the injured list, so you can't just fake injuries to take pitchers out of the game.
I just don't know. It doesn't seem feasible to me. It just doesn't seem feasible. Do I miss the days of pitchers going out and gutting it out for 8, 9 innings? Yeah, man, I like that for sure. Do I like a pitcher going out and throwing 6 innings of keeping us in a ball game and then having the ass come in to shut it down? You know, Adam, Scott, Suarez. Yes, I like that too in the playoffs. You know, I love having an ass in the playoffs to go out and get big outs throughout the playoffs. And we'll see how that works if we make it. You know, but I just doing all of these things to these managers where you're now telling me I got to leave Ben Higgins in to get 3 outs. You have to face 3. Yes, it's the loogies, the left-handed, one guy out. Those guys slowed the game of baseball down. But how many times did you really see it? I mean, stop messing with the strategy. I got to get through 162 of these, man. You got to help me out here. I got to manage my way through 162 of these, and then maybe the playoffs. Now you're going to put more sanctions on me? I mean, some people would argue if you're Mike Shildt, you're like, well, hell yeah, now I can sit back and relax for the first few innings. No, you still got to monitor them. You can still pull them after a certain amount. Stop messing, I think, with the strategy of management. It's just crazy to me. Like, it's just not something, I don't think it's something you can enforce.
Feels like a topic that's going to be sticky for a while.
I do. I think so, too.
This is really being discussed in Major League Baseball, but interesting stuff.
I just don't understand the point, too. I just really don't understand the point. Is it so bad in baseball that you look at and you say, yeah, this has got to change? Just too many guys getting taken out in the 3rd. Too many guys are leaving in the 4th. I don't know. But I don't know. And Ceasefire says maybe it's in a strange way of trying to limit Tommy Johns. In order to go 6, you'd have to throw less max effort over a full season. Still seems very strange. Yeah, I don't know what. I'll tell you this, Ceasefires. I can promise you, Rob Manfred's not worried about the health of the pitchers. Rob Manfred is worried about game time, length of game. That's his number one. If he could get baseball games down to an hour and 20 minutes, he would do it.
I think Callie's All Day makes a great point. If they ever did this, since you would never need more than 3 innings of bullpen in a single game, you probably could get by with less relievers, and you go with a 6 or a 7-man rotation. Hey, you're only going to pitch once this week. So we know you're going at least 6 this inning, and pitchers would build up innings by going deeper in their games, but they pitch less often as well. Is that an unintended consequence where you're not seeing your star pitchers on the mound as often because, well, you have to pitch them 6 or 7, so we're going to put them on the mound less often?
Yeah, this is great. Matt says, I don't mind them incentivizing 6 innings. Like you lose your DH or something, but to mandate it is absurd. Yeah, man, I could probably be convinced in that, even though I still think that's a little bit weird. But I that's better than you have to do this. And I'm sure Mike Shildt doesn't want any more mandates. We already know how he feels about the 3-batter minimum. I think most managers feel that way as well. And it's a tough watch.
Paulie, running a little behind here, but if you want to get us started at least on the Reindl Report, go for it.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report.
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
On 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a yeah? Oh, yeah.
All right.
All right, indeed.
Good morning, my friends.
Morning, buddy.
So, saw a clip going around yesterday of Greg Maddux and Barry Bonds. And I go, what is this? And it was a clip from an upcoming documentary. MLB Network has a new doc coming out on Greg Maddux. And it is called, as this page refreshes here, it's coming out on Sunday, August 25th. It's called One of a Kind. And it's going to be all about Greg Maddux, which is one of the most elite pitchers of all time. He was so fun to watch. And so this clip that was going around, they actually posted 2 clips, but the one with Barry Bonds and Greg Maddux, so they had them in separate locations at separate times. Picture each of them sitting in a chair by themselves, and they're handed an iPad, and it was an at-bat of Greg Maddux pitching to Barry Bonds in 1998. Now, spoiler alert, Bonds hit it over the wall.
Yeah.
As he did many
750
times. 750
times or whatever.
6 times, whatever it was. So there was a back and forth, and it's them taking you through the at-bat from the pitcher's point of view and from the hitter's point of view. Here is a snippet of that clip that was going around, and just enjoy.
Pretty good cutter that beat him. I'm feeling okay about throwing that pitch.
So he's going to try to float a changeup or some of that little floater away. Because he thinks I'm going to speed up because they jammed me.
The cutter beat him, so I thought he would speed up. I threw a changeup and he spit on it. I mean, that's a pretty good changeup right there, and it was an easy take for him.
I didn't even try. I just knew it. And now we're playing chess. He knows he can't beat me inside.
Experience has taught me that he's probably looking in. Back then, I didn't know it.
And most of the time, I was always waiting for that 92 end back over the plate so I could catch him. And I'm just praying for it.
Bonds hits one high to right field and deep.
And there it goes. Can't come in the well twice, buddy. You just can't do it. And Greg knows, because I always have this saying, you cannot come in the penthouse without an invite.
I mean, that's a good pitch, believe it or not. It's an executed pitch, but obviously it's the wrong pitch to throw. That's one you got to put in the memory bank and try not to ever throw it right there again to him. I mean, he's the best in baseball, and you can't make it easy for him. That's the pitch he wants to hit, so you have to make him hit something other than that.
I think that was when I finally said, I got you now.
It's unreal, man. I watched it 10 times.
I saw that clip and I go, I am all the way in.
Somebody put in the chat and they summed it up perfectly. This was baseball erotica. That's exactly what that was. And I could watch 10 hours of great hitters and great pitchers doing this exact same thing. And
genius idea.
It's the only level, too, that this works, by the way. Doesn't work in Little League, doesn't work in high school, doesn't work in adult league, doesn't work in the minors even, really. I mean, MLB, Major League Baseball, is the only league where you can go, all right, I know what he's got. He knows what I like. Here's what I think is going to happen. And I knew the way he spit on this dastardly changeup, Ben, knowing it was coming was unbelievable.
They remember at-bats the way I remember golf rounds.
That's exactly right. That's exactly
just go
right.
all the way back in the memory bank.
That's exactly right.
And just
man.
call it up. And like, oh, yeah, this is what was going on here.
I loved it.
By the way, I was looking it up just because of our conversation. Greg Maddux, he would go maybe once a year. He wouldn't go 6 innings.
Right.
Like he'd have 1 5-inning outing in April, and pretty much every other start the rest of the year was 6, 7, 8, or 9 for Greg Maddux back in the day.
I mean,
but he was super efficient.
He's a unicorn too,
and he was a unicorn.
Why don't guys throw like Nolan Ryan did? Well, Nolan Ryan was a unicorn. Why can't guys go the other way like Tony Gwynn? Well, Tony Gwynn was a unicorn. You know, it's what separates the greats from the very mediocre. It's great. I can't wait for that.
August 25th. It's Sunday, 5 o'clock.
Where? MLB Network?
MLB Network. And then they are going to be airing one of Greg Maddux's best starts of his career.
I'm all in.
Unbelievable.
Let's try to. I wonder if he'd come on again.
I could try.
That
would be fun.
He was great
the
last time.
They'll play after the documentary. It's May 2nd, 2001. He was going up against the Brewers. He threw a 2-hit, 14 strikeout, 1 walk, complete game shutout over the Brewers.
It's always my favorite Maddux quote. You've probably heard it a million times. The one about Tony Gwynn.
Sure.
Talking about
throw him the fastball.
Sometimes hitters can pick up differences in spin. They can identify pitches if there are different release points or if a curveball starts with an upward hump. But if a pitcher can change speeds, every hitter is helpless, limited by human vision. Except for that MFer Tony Gwynn.
So good, man.
All right, we'll move on. I got a baseball video game story here. So last month, College Football 25 came out. A lot of people were very excited about that. It had been 11 years since people got a chance to play that game, and it's been very successful in its relaunch. Now, do you guys remember, this was a computer game, not a Xbox or PlayStation game, from the late 90s called Backyard Baseball?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Backyard Baseball.
Don't remember.
Never played it?
Never played it.
It was elite. It came out in 1997.
It's a dark period for me.
It was on Macintosh and Windows. That was the only way you could play it. And it was licensed with Major League Baseball, I guess, or maybe that just wasn't even a thing yet in the late 90s. But you could play as Barry Bonds, Ken Griffey Jr., and you were on a sandlot field, and they were kids. Yeah, you know, Pudge Rodriguez, I remember, Randy Johnson, and they were just like 12-year-old kids, cartoon kids playing baseball. And then they had their own game characters.
I've never heard of this.
Everyone
It was a little past my game playing prime, but I do remember Backyard Baseball.
Pablo Sanchez was one of the just regular generic characters. He was like 99 everything.
Yeah, he was the elite one.
Elite. So I'll put it up on the chat what it looked like. Bring back a little nostalgia. There are rumors that this game could be making a comeback
to the computer.
I don't know. Probably a video game would be my guess.
Yeah.
Xbox, PlayStation, and the likes. Maybe even Nintendo.
Many
Nintendo
are saying
Switch
in the chat that Pablo was the best player they ever saw.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
At any level, at any league.
Your dad might say, "Oh, Mickey Mantle, the
No.
best baseball player ever."
Pablo
Pablo
Sanchez?
Sanchez
All right.
was the GOAT. And so this woman, Caitlin Hendricks, her bio just says MLB ambassador. She's got 100,000 followers on TikTok or something like that. She was snooping around and she uncovered a social media page titled Backyard Sports Official, and it was an Instagram page. It had 2 posts, including the Backyard Sports logo, and then the cartoon glove catching a baseball. And look, anybody can make an account and add a picture to it. That doesn't necessarily mean anything, but the sleuths did some digging, and they believe that this page is legit. The LinkedIn page for a guy named Ari Pinchot, he owns the IP, the intellectual property for Backyard Sports, and his LinkedIn includes plans to revive the franchise, not just with baseball, but with several other sports as well. So with, baseball always trying to get more eyes on the sports,
Yep.
young eyes. This is, the nostalgia. We talked about it earlier with Twisters. And what was that, like 25 years ago, 30 years ago, that Twister came out? That's all we're doing right now. We're just bringing back, we're hitting that nostalgia. People that were my age, born in 1990, you played this game as a kid, they think, we'll get your money as a 34-year-old adult.
Bobby Bullgreen is on the mound here against Jorge Garcia. It's Giants against the Wombats.
So what they really need to bring back are those RBI baseball names that they made up that made it try to sound American, whatever the Japanese program.
RBI was the real guys, wasn't it?
I thought they had some of the fake guys, because I got the list here, like Ray McStriff.
Ray McSwift. We've done this before. But
Yeah.
Was that RBI baseball?
I thought that was RBI baseball.
I thought it was another one.
Sleeve McDykel. Mike Trook.
Ken Griffey
Baseball
Jr.
Stars was that one.
Ken Griffey Jr. Slugfest on Nintendo 64 was very good, but Backyard Baseball on the computer was so much fun.
I just
So
never.
much.
1997. I was in like one of my 3 or 4 colleges. Don't even remember where I
What
was.
was that?
It's a dark period.
21, 22 years old?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you weren't.
Yeah. No chance. I was not sitting at a computer. I promise you. Thank you,
Hang
Paul.
on, guys. I got to finish this Backyard
Hold
Baseball
on.
game.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, these those names were just a bunch of guys that were super high, sitting around making up names
in Japan. I think.
Yeah, it was so good.
Well, they would just combine like names of people like Glenn Allen Mixon.
Right.
Was like Glenn Allen Hill and Otis Nixon with an M thrown in there just to mix it up a little bit.
I remember there was one game. I don't remember which brand, if it was EA Sports or something. There was a baseball game that I had on PlayStation or whatever at the time. They didn't have Barry Bonds. They didn't have his licensing agreement. They had every other player except for Barry Bonds. You could. There was a number 25 on the Giants who was 99 everything.
Really good. Yep.
But it wasn't Barry Bonds.
Bobson Doug Nutt.
Yeah, he's on this list too.
That's great.
Kevin O'Gilney.
Super mega baseball. All right.
Raoul Chamberlain.
Chamberlain,
like Chamberlain with a G
So
instead of a
good.
B.
Oh, and we ran out of time, but apparently everybody's social security number has been hacked and
Very cool.
released. So
All right.
I mean,
So it's out there.
There's only so many 10-digit numbers out there, so they're all. I mean, just throw me 10 digits. It's someone's social security
Well,
number.
good luck getting your $300 credit card limit with my social security number. Have fun. Oh, cool. I got a Credit One card for $300.
527-8304-0013.
Don't be reading people's numbers.
I
Nope.
mean, someone's out there. I'm
would you
sure.
even know what to do with that?
With somebody's? No. No. I don't
I
have
got you now.
a devious mind like that. But again, enjoy my debt, that $300 Credit One limit. And
Please steal my identity.
Yeah, but if you do, you get it all.
Yeah. Oh,
the
yeah.
wife, the kids, the whole thing. You take the whole. If you take it, you're taking all of it. Some other guy sitting in here
No.
on Monday. Who are you?
I'm the new Ben. I just stole his identity. I now have his job. I have his car. I have his family. I have his pets.
If you're gonna steal my identity, steal it. Take it.
all.
Now that's how you do it. That's the deal. If you're in, you're in 100%.
Get a lot of housework to take care
Yeah,
of.
100%.
You get
Laundry.
a lot of things to do right now.
2 jobs.
Just wait until I'm finished with my staycation. Then
Yes,
go ahead.
and then
You
go.
can steal it if you want. All right. We have some more tickets to give away to Journey and Def Leppard at Petco Park. That is coming up in our next segment. Stay tuned. After traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. Got a little breaking soccer news this morning. According to reports on ESPN, Mauricio Pochettino has agreed to become the new United States national team head coach.
Instead of Greg
Berhalter, who was fired. Yeah, he's the successor to Greg Berhalter. If you don't know Pochettino, he was the coach at Chelsea, but has left the club earlier this year by mutual consent after one season in charge of Chelsea. So Team USA getting the former Chelsea coach Mauricio Pochettino to take over the national team, which is, I mean, he'll have to be the guy going forward for the World Cup coming up in the United States, Mexico, and Canada in 2026. So a lot will be riding on the new coach and the system that he implements and what he can do in the next 2 years to get the team ready for the World Cup.
Now, I will reserve my comments on this, mostly because I don't know what I'm talking about. But I want to hear what Craig says. If Craig Elston's into it, then
He will, I'm sure, in their 12 o'clock sports fix, will probably have all the headlines and have some thoughts on the hiring of this coach. Yeah, I don't know enough about, it was just one season at Chelsea, but, good enough to be a coach in the Premier League. So
is Ted Lasso.
Well, I would take Ted Lasso as the coach of the national team.
It's fair.
You could do a lot worse.
You could do a lot worse than Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso.
They said the future of Ted Lasso is in Jason Sudeikis' hands. Are we done? I think we're done. I think
I thought it was over.
That's what I thought. But they said it can come back if Jason Sudeikis is into it. And the last season was whatever. But would you guys want another season? I'd watch it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'd watch it if they made it.
I'd watch it.
I got the other day. I was scrolling, and there was a movie poster for Netflix's new movie coming out next month called Heisenberg.
Oh.
With starring Bryan Cranston, and the synopsis was he is rushed to the hospital and is on life support and is getting ready for his biggest escape ever.
And he pulls through.
I thought he died at the end
of El Camino.
It's been 10 years.
You're fine. If you haven't seen it, probably weren't going to see
it. It was fake.
It's fake.
Somebody just made it. I'm Googling. I'm like, when does this come out?
That's the worst.
Because they left it, I guess, kind of open to interpretation. So I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I'm in.
It's the worst. That's the worst when they get you like that. Our pal Dominic, one of our tier ones, has arrived. He's in town, lives in Baltimore, and he brought us something today.
These are not famous Amos.
Put him on the,
Yeah, what are these?
Which one you handed over there?
Is that it?
Yep.
Got it? There
Yep.
we go. I don't have to hold this on.
You don't have to.
All right.
Hi, Dominic. Stop doing whatever you're
What's
doing.
going on, fellas?
Welcome back to town.
Yeah.
Big Padres fan. You were at Petco Park yesterday. You heard our cookie talk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, earlier, and you brought us something. I've never seen these before. I'm a little nervous. They're called burgers.
Bergers.
From Baltimore, Maryland. And they look
Jackson Merrill's probably heard of these.
Oh, he's had
these
these
before. Okay.
They look like moon pies.
So it's like basically a delivery system for ganache.
Oh, okay.
So
I like that.
I do like ganache.
Oh, my God.
We trying one right now in the air?
Yeah, right now.
All right.
You might need some milk.
Holy crap. Burger.
Like Jake Burger.
These are unreal, man. These are absolutely incredible.
All right.
Holy cow. They taste like donuts.
I thought it was
They
just...
taste like VG's chocolate donuts.
I thought it was just crab cakes that were the delicacy of Maryland, but apparently Burger's cookies as well.
It's like a whole thing, yeah.
Well,
Oh,
quite
my God.
coincidentally, Dominic has just won the tickets to... No, that's not
How did
fair.
that happen?
That's not fair. If you want to win the tickets to Def Leppard and Journey at Petco Park, you have to call. Be the fourth caller, 833-288-0973. If you want to try calling in, Dominic, you're absolutely available to do that. It's coming up August 30th at Petco Park. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com, but you can win a pair right now, 833-288-97.3, and then we are going to 0973, and then we're going to eat some cookies. And then we're going to come back. We're going to have a final segment. We've got a weekend series against the Colorado Rockies coming up for your San Diego Padres and getting ready for a roundtable in just a few minutes as well. All ahead on San Diego's #1 dessert station, 97.3 The Fan. All right, congratulations to
Miguel.
Miguel won our tickets for the concert coming up on August 30th. Journey and Def Leppard at Petco Park. Everybody else, we will have one more pair to give away tomorrow. Last chance to win this week. Again, you can get your own tickets at Ticketmaster.com if you want to. We got like 10 minutes after traffic coming up to finish the show. You want to try to get online and talk some Padres baseball, we are certainly willing to do that. 833-288-0973.
We haven't gone out to the phones
it's been a while.
To get the pulse of the fans.
What are you going to say other than
things are great?
Things are going really well right now. Don't change a thing. I'm sure Mike Schilt would love to just push a button, freeze this moment in time, and just say, keep pitching like this, keep hitting like this, keep playing defense like this. And you do that, Padres will have a very good chance to go all the way. Yeah. But that's not how baseball works.
No, it's not.
They will not. They will not hold on to this for the rest of the season. I will tell you that. They're not. 19 of 22 is not a sustainable pace going forward for the rest of the year. The question is, can you play well enough to get yourself into the playoffs, hopefully with a good seed, and then after that, you just need to win 3 out of 5, 4 out of 7 going forward. And get your way all the way to the end of October.
Yeah, and when the Padres, look, they're most likely going to lose at least one series between now and the end of the year.
Yeah,
that's going to feel like the world is ending.
I mean, it really will. It really will. It really will.
They will not finish the season with 20 consecutive series victories. It's just not going to happen. Well, are we going to?
Why not?
Because
why not?
I don't think anyone's ever done it. I mean, even the Mariners that year when they won 116 games, they lost some series through the year, didn't they?
Yeah.
I think they waited literally until like September.
It was that. They won a lot of series that year. That's true.
I watched that. I always go back to The Last Dance, and I watched the 72-10 season for the Bulls again. 72 wins out of 82. I mean, anything is possible. And this team, the way they're playing right now, man, I'm certainly not going to count them out of anything miraculous. What they've done a really good job at is avoiding the dreaded 5-gamer. The 5-gamer where you just
can't have those.
You do feel like the world is ending. You keep that up, man. You keep doing, even close to what you're doing. You're going to be in a really good position.
All right, all the phone lines are blinking, so let's take a couple of calls coming up right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Just one problem wrapping up our morning drive. Collision on northbound 67 before Bradley. Several vehicles involved. They're all over the right shoulder, but watch out for some debris in the slow lane. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, let's go out to Chad. Chad, welcome to Ben & Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you guys?
Good, thank you.
I've been listening to you guys for a really long time now. Both my dad and I listen all throughout the day between you guys and then Annie and Elston and then, of course, Gwen and Chris. And we, love the whole breakdown of the way that the weekly daytime goes because, all day long, every day of the week, you've got something fresh to listen to and something – a different, unique perspective, and it makes it really nice because I drive delivery, so I'm out on the road all day long every single day, and it gives me something to pay attention to. I hear about all the trades and everything like that, but my question to you guys is when you're winning so many games in a row and so many games out of a group of games, I myself find that I tend to pay a little bit less attention to the detail because I feel like the pressure's off. So whereas before, when we were around 500 trying to fight for a wild card spot, you're listening to every single second of every single thing you can get your hands on because you want to know, are we going to get there? Are we not? Are we going to do this? Are we not? But now with all these wins, I feel like with the pressure off, we have a little bit more freedom with our time to listen to whatever we want to do or talk about whatever we want to do. Do you agree with that, or how do you feel about that?
100%. I mean, this job is we've heard it before. Just a little behind the curtain. You guys are cheerleaders. You need the team to win. You need them to win for your ratings and your money. And nope. Nope.
Not at all.
Honestly, you could believe me or I don't care. The worse they play, the better we do. That's just the fact of the matter. And I don't want that. I don't want to see them. Ratings, I'm happy with if they never lost a game because I don't like to come in here and what I don't like to do is talk about baseball in a football setting, and I think a lot of people still watch baseball like they're watching the NFL, and it's not made for that. And so I totally get what you're saying. We start the show every day lately going, well, what else can you say about these guys except they're kicking ass? For example, we have Mike Schultz on tomorrow. I don't have the foggiest idea of what to ask this man tomorrow. Not the foggiest. How's it going? Great. Cool. Fantastic.
Might I suggest not asking about his bullpen?
I'm not. Yeah, I mean, that one, right. But it's so much fun when they're winning. It rips my stomach out when they're in the middle of a 5-game losing streak. It really does.
Chad, I really appreciate. He kind of Mike Schilted our radio station.
He did.
He did, like, a Schilt, like,
full rundown.
Yeah, first I listened to the Ben and Woods from 6 to 10, and then it's then Annie Nelson.
He got on. Crony hit a 3-run homer.
And then,
I love
and then Gwen and Chris in the afternoon, and I like how they all broke it down. It was very Schilt-esque. But I hear it both ways. Obviously, if they lose too much, there is like, okay, I get tired of the same old thing.
Oh, 100%.
The old roller coaster they were on is beautiful for us in the first half of the season.
It really is, but we hate it personally.
Keeps everybody on the edge of their seats the entire way through. But now that we're late in the season, though, there's always something to talk about in terms of the playoff chase, trying to get peak performance at the right time of the year.
Yeah.
How long can you keep this up, keep it sustained? I mean, people panicked about the bullpen usage a couple of days ago. Even when things were going well, you're looking for things that could still then go wrong going forward. So I don't think it ever really ends. I do like hearing people talk about the how well it's going for the Padres, though. I love turning into a national show and hearing them talk about the Padres as a relevant team
for sure.
and how well they're doing. If they got bodied the night before, I don't necessarily want to hear Steve Phillips or Jeff Passan talking about the Padres and what's going wrong. But I love when they're talking about what's going right with the San Diego Padres. So there's always a mix of everything.
Yeah, I mean, look, and nothing is ever perfect. In any walk of life, you can hit the company record with a quota in sales, but could you have done better? The answer is yes. The answer is always yes. Can the Padres do better than they're doing right now? Yeah, they can. They can. Are there better ways to optimize things? Sure, absolutely. But I feel pretty confident in saying they're thinking about that too. What I don't see from any of these players or management or anything is them kicking back, resting on their laurels. Yeah, where's Tatis? That's a good one. I do want to ask him about the status of Fernando Tatis Jr.
I heard he was in Arizona for a little while.
He was here the other day. I did not see him yesterday. We were down there, Paulie, but I just it is fun to come in and talk about wins, and it's fun to come in and talk about winning streaks. Does it always necessarily mean that you're going to have better ratings when they win? No. The answer is unequivocally no.
No, definitely not.
It's not how it works.
Let's get a couple more in here. Is this Sean? Welcome to Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Hello, Sean.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good. Well, obviously. We're feeling pretty good now.
Feeling great, man.
So it's obviously it's awesome what we're doing, and I called in and talked to Chris yesterday. But I think part of the reason we're doing this, and it goes back to Preller doing such a good job in recruiting and trading, but it also has a lot to do with Preller keeping his hand out of the cookie jar. I think this is the first manager we've had in probably 8 years that didn't have this meddling in what he was doing, and it's very tough to succeed. And I think that's part of what happened. And I think he also changed. I think last year, for the last 6 years, 7 years, the mentality of everybody wants to win so bad, and they try so hard, but it's always, there's a runner on base, I got to bring him in with a home run, or I got to bring him in with a triple, and then all of a sudden we strike out. And the culture changed to let's actually play situation ball, not just talk about it. I think has made a huge difference, and I think bringing in the new batting coach, and more importantly, Preller buying in and trading for Luis Arraez has made the biggest difference in what this team does even if you look at the beginning of the season on the offensive side, where it was our roller coaster, and all of a sudden Luis Arraez came in and the dips got smaller, and now all of a sudden the dips are gone. And it's because everybody had a living example of this is what we want to do, guys. Oh, it does work. And so it's just been, I think those are the biggest things that have helped us. And as far as pitching goes, anybody we get, every time we get someone and they say, well, geez, he hasn't been doing good, we got Ruben. Ruben's going to fix him anyway.
Ruby's awesome, man.
So anyway.
Thank you, man. There's a lot of points he made in that call.
Yeah, I mean, and I agree with a lot of them, but I have to point out that 1 month ago, less than 1 month ago, on July 20th, so what is that, 25 days ago? It was a 500 team.
Yeah, man.
Long after Arise was here, long after Mike Schilt had instituted his new culture and been playing some small ball and doing it all, it led to a 50-50 record.
Yeah. At
that point, the flat average, middle of the road baseball team.
Well, it's
25 days ago.
I watched.
So what? Why did it all change?
I know
25 days ago.
I'll give you the answer right now, and I learned it from. This is not Dodger loving because we are big Chris Rose fans, but he has his Chris Rose rotation, and Tyler Glasnow, who I used to really, really love. I still think he's a really good interview. Tyler Glasnow was talking about it the other day with Chris Rose, and he said, "Chris, it's very easy. We win, and when you win, everything's great. Front office is great. The manager's great. The hitting coach is fantastic. The pitching coach is great. Now the Dodgers, it's funny, they actually have played like 500 baseball, but." Look at, they're still in first place. So Tyler Glasnow says, when things start going poorly, everything gets picked apart. Everything.
Don't you feel like last year's Padres team, all they needed to do was win some and everything would have been fixed?
No question about the chemistry, the this, the that.
I mean, all they needed to do was one 4-game winning streak at some point, and it would have all been fixed. Yeah. And they just never could do it.
Never could do it.
But that's what
one extra inning game.
That's what they needed to fix it. Just a little run, a week or two of some close wins like this, and everything would have been fine last year. There would have been no Bob Melvin talk. There would have been no Juan Soto talk. Everything would have been fine.
Yeah,
winning. They just never had that. They never were given that chance.
Winning cures literally everything in the organization. People do not lose their minds when you've won 19 of 22.
We heard, AJ and Bob were at loggerheads pretty early on in the relationship, but no one heard anything about it in 2022 when they were going to the NLCS because they were winning. They were winning. So no one hears about those things when they're winning. When they're losing, oh yeah, you hear about everything.
Yep, you start losing, you start picking at everything, as Jeter says in the chat, man. It is just it's been awesome. It's been awesome to see. Thanks for the calls, guys.
Yeah, this hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by the Farmer's Dog, fresh human-grade dog food from a healthier weight to more energy. When you switch your dog's food to the Farmer's Dog, the effects can feel magical. What sorcery is this? Not at all. It's just real food made for the health of dogs. Get 50% off your first box at thefarmersdog.com/radio. And I timed that perfectly because that music means we are down to our last 30 seconds. We're going to head over to our sound space, join our colleagues, Annie and Elston, Gwen and Chris, and get ready for the weekly Padres Roundtable presented by Roundtable Pizza. It's commercial-free, which is great for you. Kind of hell on us, but we will get it done anyway. Coming up next, so don't go anywhere. For Paulie Reindl, for Stephen Woods, for Dominic and his cookies, I'm Ben Higgins. Have a great rest of your Thursday. Talk to you in a couple minutes here on 97.3 The Fan.